It was raining on October 10th, the day of the Kyuubi festival. It was a day when people celebrated the defeat of the Kyuubi, the nine-tailed demon fox, that attacked the village of Konoha 5 years ago. People loved this day and celebrated it to honor the fourth Hokage, who gave up his life to save the village. But one boy hated this day. It was his birthday, but instead of celebrating it, he was hunted down by the villagers and beat up to an inch of his life for reasons he didn't understand. This story begins with a 5-year-old Naruto running from the villagers. The beatings had began 2 years ago when he was 3. They called him a demon, a monster. They said that he killed their loved ones. Why? He didn't know. Naruto turned and ran into an alley as fast as he could, but it seemed that luck wasn't on his side. He hit a dead end. Oh no! I am going to die today. If I die, then how will I be Hokage? The young blonde thought. We have finally caught you, demon. Today we will finish what the fourth started and end you, said the villagers as they walked up to him, holding rods, pans, and knives. No, said the frightened blonde. Leave me alone. Why? Why are you doing this to me? What did ever do to you all? You killed my brother, a villager shouted. You killed my husband, another shouted. How can I kill them? I am only 5, said Naruto. It is because you are a demon. Now die, said a third villager as all of them ran towards the blonde and started to beat him up. They hit him with frying pans and rods. One villager even stabbed Naruto with a knife in the gut. By now, Naruto was unconscious. One of the villagers was about to stab Naruto straight through his heart when an umbu with a dog mask and gravity-defying silver hair came and kicked the villager away. Then 2 more umbus came and herded the villagers away. One of them had a boar mask while the other had a cat mask. I feel bad for the boy, said the one in the cat mask. If we were even a second late, then he would be dead. It is good that we saw him, said Boar. These villagers, said Dog as he clenched his fists. They have crossed the line. I have to speak with the Hokage. For now, let's take him to the hospital. I will stay back with him to make sure he stays safe while you get the Hokage. The 2 nodded as Dog picked up the young boy as they jumped from rooftops to rooftops, going towards the hospital. Meanwhile, Naruto opened his eyes. Huh, where am I? Am I dead? It seemed like he was in a sewer. No, son. You are in your mindscape, a voice said from behind him. Naruto turned around to see a large cage with a piece of paper on it. In front of it was a blond man in white robes with the kanji for 4 on it. El Lord Fourth, how are you here? Aren't you dead? Am I also dead? What's going on? Said a shocked Naruto. Then he heard a lady chuckle. This is going to be a long day. Isn't it, Minato? The lady walked out of the cage. She wore a long black gown with orange flames flowing through it, concentrated towards the hands and feet. She was barefoot and had long, flowing red hair. Overall, she was beautiful. Naruto immediately blushed after looking at her. He didn't know what the feeling was. He was only 5. Both of the adults burst out into laughter as they saw the look on Naruto's face. Looks like your son also has a thing for redheads, said the lady. Naruto looked at them confused, yet embarrassed for some reason. My boy is growing up so fast, said Minato as he wiped fake tears from his eyes. Then it hit Naruto. They said that I am his son. Am I the son of the 4th Hokage? Wondered Naruto. What do you mean, your son? Exactly that, replied Minato. I am your father and you are my son. At this, Naruto's eyes widened. Immediately, he shot forward and jumped on Minato. He hugged him and started crying, telling him how much he suffered at the hands of the villagers. Minato just rubbed his back and calmed him down. I know, son. I am sorry I wasn't there for you, but I am here now. So who is the pretty lady? Asked Naruto. At this, the woman blushed and Minato chuckled. My name is Kurama, replied the lady. You might know me as the Kyuubi or the 9-tailed fox. Naruto's eyes widened. He looked at Kurama, then at Minato, and back at Kurama, and back at Minato. Dad, I thought you killed the Kyuubi and she killed you. Naruto wasn't in the academy yet, but even he knew that much. No, son, replied Minato. Well, she did kill me and attacked the village, but it wasn't her fault. She was being controlled by a masked man with the Sharingan. She never wanted to kill me or attack the village. Naruto nodded. If you are dead, then how are you here? Just before I died, I decided to use a special seal to seal my soul and some of my chakra inside of you, so I can train you and you can have a father to grow up with. Okay, but how is she here? You see, she is a tailed beast and is made of chakra, so she can't be killed. I did the only thing I could at the moment and sealed her inside of you as well. That is why the villagers hate you. Naruto's eyes widened, but then he smiled. Okay. You aren't mad at me? Don't you hate me? Didn't you hear what your father said? Asked a shocked Kurama. Nope. I heard what Dad said. He said that you were controlled and it wasn't your fault, so I don't hate you. At hearing this, Kurama smiled. Wait, so who is my mom? Asked Naruto. Your mother's name is Kushina Uzumaki. She was a beautiful and strong kunoichi. She was called the Red Death of Konoha. Is she dash? Yes, she is still alive. At least I hope so. She ran away from the village during the attack, but I know she would never do that. My guess is that someone told her that we both were died, but I don't know who. Naruto nodded and then smiled. Don't worry, Dad. I will find he and make our family whole again. Believe it. Minato smiled. Now, son, you are going to wake up soon. From tomorrow, me and Kurama will start your training. Do not tell anyone about us. After you wake up, you can come in the mindscape or just create a mental link to talk to us anytime you want, okay? Okay, Dad. Bye, Dad. Bye, Kurama. Bye, Naruto, said Kurama. Bye, son, said Minato. Soon, Naruto opened his eyes in the real world to see that he was in the hospital. Kurama. Naruto, don't speak to us aloud. Just think to us and we will hear it, said Kurama. Okay, Naruto replied. Hey, who is Kurama? Asked Hiruzen Sarutobi, the third Hokage. No one, Gigi. Okay, rest up. You can leave the hospital tomorrow. Okay. Sarutobi left the room and saw Dog waiting outside for him. Hokage, we need to talk about Naruto, said the Umbu. The Hokage nodded. What is it? Naruto was nearly killed today. If I would have been even a second late, he would have died. The villagers are crossing the line. Hiruzen sighed. We can't properly punish them till Naruto is a genin. Till then, he is in the hands of the civilian council. All we can do is send some Umbu to protect him, but they can't always be there. You are right. All we can do is hope Naruto doesn't go on the path of revenge, said the Umbu. What should I do, Minato-sensei? He thought. The next day, Naruto was in a training ground. He sat down in a meditative posture and closed his eyes. When he opened them, he was in his mindscape. Hey, Dad. Hey, Kurama, he said. Hey, son/hey, Naruto, they replied. So how are we going to train? Asked a very excited Naruto. I will help train your body, taijutsu and kenjutsu, while Minato will teach you fuinjutsu and some of his prized ninjutsu. We both will teach you ninjutsu depending on your elemental affinities. You will also learn history and politics because you need to know that be Hokage and also deal with the council, said Kurama. We have already made your training routine. Naruto nodded with a big smile. Okay. Naruto, I am going to teach you a very special jutsu called Shadow Clone Jutsu. It allows you to make physical copies of yourself, and when it dispels, you get all memories and experience from the clone. That means if you create 6 clones and they train along with you, you can do a week's training in a day. That is amazing. I will be Hokage in no time. Kurama chuckled. With your current chakra levels, you can create 50 shadow clones without facing problems. So this is what you will do. You will wake up at 6 and come to this training ground at 7. Then you will create 50 shadow clones. 30 of you will do physical exercises and 20 will do chakra control exercises like tree walking. It will be intense. This will go on till 12 o'clock. Then you will eat lunch and then rest till 3 p.m. You have to eat something healthy for your body to grow, so ramen is limited to only 2 times a week. This made Naruto cry anime tears. Why? Why so less ramen? Kurama decided to ignore him and continue. Then you will be taught history and politics by your dad for an hour, and in the next hour I will teach you history that goes back thousands of years. Then, from 5 to 7, you will learn Fuinjutsu from your dad, and then you are free to do whatever you want, but you have to sleep by 10. Naruto nodded. Time skip. It has been 6 months since Naruto began his training. His speed and strength has increased greatly, and so has his chakra reserves. The Uzumaki clan members were known to be chakra monsters. A normal chunin of the clan would have Kage-level reserves. Jinchurikis were also known to have massive chakra reserves, and Naruto was both, but having Jounin-level reserves at the age of 5 was crazy. But there was something crazier. He had amazing chakra control. Someone with his level of chakra was supposed to have terrible chakra control, especially at his age, but his was next to perfect, though he did need to continue his exercises to maintain it due to his ever-growing reserves. Naruto was walking on the street, going to a weapon shop to buy a sword and some chakra paper, when heard a girl crying. He followed the sound and saw 3 boys bullying a girl in an alley. "Hey, leave her alone," he said as he ran in front of the girl and spread his arms, like he was protecting her. "Go away, brat, and let us have some fun with her, or we will beat you up," said one of the boys. "Go away and leave her alone." "Or what?" asked another boy. "I will beat you up and make you leave her," replied Naruto. The 3 boys burst into laughter. "How can you beat us? We are genin and you are just a 5-year-old brat." "Don't say I didn't warn you." Multi-shadow clone jutsu, Naruto shouted as he created 50 clones. The clones proceeded to beat up the boys and chase the boys away. He turned to the little girl and asked, "Are you okay?" The girl nodded. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. What is yours?" Naruto asked. Hinata H. Hyuga. The girl replied. Naruto smiled at her. "That's a nice name, Hinata." She blushed. Thank you, Enen Naruto." In Naruto's mind. "Score. My son is definitely going to be a chick magnet," said Minato. Shut up, Dad," said Naruto, getting red. "Back outside." "Hinata, we have to go." "Get away from her, peasant," said a Hyuga member that just saw them. Naruto got angry that he called him a peasant but didn't show it. "Bye, Hinata," he said as he gave her a warm smile. "Bye Enen Naruto," she said as she blushed while the other Hyuga was dragging her away. Naruto chuckled as he noticed this and walked away. Naruto was in his usual training ground. He had just bought some chakra paper, kunai, shuriken and a katana with a black chakra metal blade and a red hilt with black flames. He wasn't going to learn to use it yet. He was too small for it, but he bought it anyway because he liked it. Money wasn't a problem for him because he was able to sneak into the Namecase compound and take the money. Everything was secure with blood seals, which meant that only he could take it, so it was safe from the council. He took a chakra paper and asked, "So I just have to push some chakra into it, right?" "Yes," replied Kurama. "If it crumbles, you have earth. If it crinkles, you have lightning. If it burns, you have fire. If it becomes wet, you have water, and if it splits, you have wind. Don't be disappointed if nothing happens. You are only 5 and normally people don't start elemental training till they are chunin and don't even develop elemental affinities till they are 7. Naruto nodded and pushed some chakra into the paper and it immediately split into 2 pieces. One burnt while another crinkled, but then something strange happened. A chakra paper appeared out of nowhere and then disappeared in a black flash. Kurama's eyes widened. "Hey Kurama, what was that?" Naruto asked. Kurama snapped out of her shock and replied to the blonde. "Come in the mindscape, quick!" Naruto sat down in a meditative pose and entered his mindscape. In Naruto's mindscape, you not only have 3 strong affinities, wind from your mother, lightning from your father and fire from me, but you also have, said Kurama. I have what? Asked Naruto. Yin-yang release, something that only the Sage of Six Paths had. Remember when I told you how the tailed beasts were created? Yeah. The Sage of Six Paths used a technique called creation of all things to split the chakra of the 10 tails into 9 separate entities. He used Yin chakra to create the bodies and Yang chakra to breathe life into them. Then Naruto's eyes widened as realization hit him. I see you have got it. Creation of all things was a technique that used Yin-yang release. Yin-yang release is something very powerful and gives the user many abilities, but I know only one, which is the creation of all things that allows you to turn imagination into reality using chakra. This ability is very difficult to master, but I think you can do it. Naruto nodded and smiled. I knew I was awesome. Minato chuckled. You got that right. That means you are the one, said Kurama. What? Asked Naruto. Father said that the Kyuubi might come back again, so he used the last of his power to grant me the ability to give one person a dojutsu stronger than his own. He said that there were only 2 conditions for this. The person should have Yin-yang release and should have a pure heart, and you, Naruto, have both. Naruto's and Minato's eyes widened as Kurama continued. His power was split between his 2 sons, Indra and Ashura, the ancestors of the Uchiha and Senju clans. When their 2 bloods would combine, the person would get the 3rd and final stage of the Sharingan after the Mangekyo stage, the Rinnegan. Just like that, this dojutsu also has 3 stages. The 3rd stage of this dojutsu is even stronger than the Rinnegan, so use this power wisely, Naruto. It will change your chakra system, so you will probably be knocked out. I suggest that you go home and lie down. Naruto nodded as he exited the mindscape, went to his house and laid down on his bed. Naruto, I am going to begin the process. Are you ready? Yes. Naruto nodded right before he went unconscious. Naruto woke up groggily as he rubbed his eyes that were hurting. Kurama, is it done? Yes, Naruto. Go check the mirror. She replied. Naruto got up and walked to the mirror and saw his eyes. Did it not work? I feel different, but my eyes are the same. Try putting some chakra into your eyes. Naruto nodded as he pushed some chakra into his eyes. He watched in amazement as his eyes changed form. His normal blue eyeballs were replaced by white ones with black circular outlines, while the rest of his eyes turned golden. His eyeballs now had black plus signs coming out from his now shrunken black pupils. Beside the plus was 1 golden tomo, meaning that the dojutsu was yet to mature. Naruto walked out into his balcony and thought, whoa, I see everything. I can see so far and yet so clearly. I can see everything in detail, and I can also see the chakra around me. The humans have blue chakra while the trees and rocks have green and the birds have yellow. This is truly amazing. Of course it is amazing. It was made by my father. I have just analyzed your dojutsu and chakra, and it seems like there are many developments. Your body is much stronger than before and will keep getting stronger as the eyes mature and you train. Your chakra is not blue anymore. It is golden and is much denser than before. You have already gained Kage level reserves, and it seems like you have also gained an affinity towards earth and water, said Kurama. An affinity for all the 5 elements. That is amazing, said Minato. Kurama nodded as she continued. Your dojutsu is similar to the Sharingan. You can copy any ninjutsu, taijutsu, or genjutsu, but your body is far more adaptive than one of a Sharingan user. I think it means you can copy more things, but I don't know what. Wait, it also has one more function, but you have to find that out yourself. I think you will get more powers as your eyes develop. Naruto nodded. What are these eyes called? Don't really have a name for it. How about you name it? I will call it angel eyes, or for a more appropriate term, the hexagon. It has been 2 years since Naruto got his dojutsu, the hexagon. It has reached its 2-tomo stage and helps Naruto see just as good as the Mangekyo Sharingan. He discovered that it has a similar effect to the Sharingan as when he activates the dojutsu, everything slows down for him and his reaction time increases greatly. He was shocked when he found out that he has two of the basic Mangekyo Sharingan abilities, which are Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi. Though they are a bit different. The Amaterasu flames are white and have a hint of golden in it, and are much hotter than the normal Amaterasu flames according to Kurama, while the Tsukuyomi world is white and golden instead of red and black. This genjutsu cannot be broken by even a Mangekyo Sharingan user, and in this, time is in the total control of the caster and is not limited to 3 days. The jutsus cause no strain to the eyes, but they do take some chakra, the rate of which is decreasing as Naruto trains. He decided to name this Holy Amaterasu and Heavenly Tsukuyomi, and Kurama suspects that he might unlock the Susanoo when he reaches the 3-tomo stage. His dojutsu is truly amazing, but so is he. His chakra reserves is 4 times that of the 3rd Hokage, and his chakra control is surprisingly good. His taijutsu is high Chunin level, and his speed and strength are that of Rock Lee without weights in the Chunin exams. The resistance seals that his father gave him really paid off. With his Exagon, he could cast powerful genjutsu, but it wasn't really his style. His kenjutsu style, the Raging Whirlpools, really suited him, but he wasn't a master in the art yet because he had started his sword training only a month ago. Fuinjutsu was natural to him, and he was a level 7 seal expert already, and would be a seal master in no time. Despite all of this, his specialty was ninjutsu. He was a true prodigy in the art. Having all chakra natures and the ability to create 1,000 shadow clones was really helpful. Not to mention he had the previous Hokage and 1,000-year-old fox lady, full of information, sealed inside him. He had already managed to learn the Rasengan along with many other elemental jutsus. He had learnt the body flicker / shunshin and could use it with different elements. His yin-yang release training was going good, and he seemed natural at it, though it was a difficult thing to master. He had found out that another ability of the yin-yang release was gravity manipulation, and he could also heal the someone almost instantly. It wasn't exactly medical ninjutsu, it was simply an ability of his yin-yang release, and a powerful one at that, though it cost quite a bit of chakra for bigger wounds. Despite so much progress, he still knew that his eyes had one more ability, but he didn't know what. A 7-year-old Naruto was enjoying his 7th bowl of ramen when there was a puff of smoke behind him. He turned around to see an Umbu standing behind him. "Lord Hokage wishes to speak to you," he said. Naruto just nodded as the Umbu placed a hand on him as they both vanished in a swirl of leaves. "He didn't even pay," said Tuchi, the ramen stand owner, while crying anime tears. Back with Naruto. He and the Umbu appeared in Sarutobi's office as the Umbu disappeared. "So what did you want to speak about, Gigi?" asked Naruto. "Ah, Naruto, how have you been?" the old Hokage asked. "I have been good, Gigi." Then he noticed a young girl with green hair, about his age. "Hey, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. Who are you?" "I am Fu," replied the girl. "Nice to meet you, Fu," said Naruto with a warm smile which made her blush. "He looks kinda cute," she thought. He then turned to Sarutobi. "So why did you call me here, Gigi?" "About that," started Sarutobi. "It is because of Fu." At this, Naruto raised an eyebrow as the old Hokage continued. "She is originally from Taki, the village hidden in the waterfalls, but just like you, the villagers hate her and treat her badly. The only person who was good to her was the village leader, Shibuki. So he sent her to this village so she could have a better life." Fu was wondering why Naruto was hated while he nodded and asked, "So you are a Jinchuriki, huh?" This shocked both Fu and Hiruzen. "So which Biju do you contain?" he continued. Fu became sad thinking that he wouldn't accept her, but decided to answer the question anyway. "The 7 tails." "Oh, I have the 9, said Naruto as Fu and Hiruzen's eyes widened. Fu instantly became happy. "How did you know Naruto? When did you find out?" asked a suspicious Hiruzen. "All in due time, Gigi. I will tell you many things that will shock you to your core, but it will have to wait till I pass the academy graduation exam. Then, the civilian council will have no power over me." This made Hiruzen curious. How did the boy know all this? He is quite smart. Maybe I should keep an eye on him, he thought. And Gigi, Naruto said as he continued, please do not send your umbu or use your crystal ball to spy on me. I will tell you everything once I become a genin. There are things that even you don't know of. Hiruzen thought for a while. He could ignore Naruto and spy on him, but if he got caught, then the boy would lose trust in him. On the other hand, he could wait for a couple of years and the boy would tell him everything himself. He decided to go with the latter option. Very well, Naruto. You can tell me once you are ready. Now for why I called you. Fu is new to the village and doesn't have any friends, nor does she have a home. So I was thinking, would you both like to live together? Both of you have never had friends your age, nor have you been liked very much. Plus, both of you are Jinchurikis, so you both would understand each other perfectly. That would be great, said Fu as she then looked at Naruto with a pleading look in her eyes. That would be awesome, said Naruto as he grinned from ear to ear. Immediately, Fu tackled him in a hug and started crying in his chest. Thank you so much, she said as tears were leaking from her eyes. Then suddenly, she kissed him deeply. Naruto's eyes widened as he slowly gave in to the kiss. Ahem, said Chome, the seven-tailed beast, in Fu's mind. As much as I would love to see you make out with your new boyfriend, the Hokage is watching. Shut up, Chome. He is not my boyfriend, said a very flustered and red Fu. Meanwhile, in Naruto's mind, Minato was crying anime tears while rambling about how proud he was of his son. Kurama just watched the whole thing and had a hint of jealousy on her face, but it vanished when she saw Naruto's face and she burst out laughter. It was a mixture of shock and happiness, and he looked redder than a tomato. Fu quickly drew back as both of them got up. Their faces were completely red and they were looking away from each other in embarrassment. Hiruzen chuckled as a few snickers were heard from the hidden umbu. Sorry, and Naruto, said Fu. It's okay, Fu. I kinda liked it, said an embarrassed Naruto as he realized what he just said. What? Said Fu in shock as both their blushes deepened. Ahem, interrupted Hiruzen. If you two lovebirds are done, we still have matters to discuss. Both of the Jinchurikis nodded as Hiruzen continued. I will give the both of you your monthly money, but if you need more, you can do D-rank missions. I am giving you special permission. Here, check this pamphlet. It shows how much money you get for completing a mission. Both Fu and Naruto read the pamphlet. S-rank mission 500,000 Ryo. A rank mission 100,000 Ryo. B rank mission 50,000 Ryo. C rank mission 10,000 Ryo. D rank mission 500 to 1,000 Ryo depending on the mission. The Jinchurikis looked up at Hiruzen. How many D rank missions a day can we do? Asked Naruto. Hiruzen thought for a while. You can do as many missions as you want. Genins never like doing D ranks and there is quite a pile. After the both of you become ninjas, I will add the missions you do to your mission records. Naruto smirked. As many as we want, huh? Thanks, Gigi. Can we go now? Yes, you can leave. Show her around the village. Naruto nodded as he and Fu left the office. Naruto gave Fu a tour of the village and they both went to Naruto's apartment. Fu, have you ever talked Chome? Fu was surprised that Naruto knew her Biju's name. Yes, she is the only one who cared about me other than Shibuki Intaki. Naruto nodded and thought to his dad. Hey dad, should I tell her? Tell her what? Asked Minato. Everything. She is just like me and she will eventually find out since we are living together. Also, we can train her with Chome. I guess you are right. We will train her. Fu, can I trust you? Asked a serious Naruto. Yes, you can, she replied. Okay, then, I have a lot to tell you. An hour later. So let me get this straight. You are telling me that you are the son of the fourth Hokage and he is sealed inside you. Also, he has been training you along with Kurama from the past 2 years. You also have a Dojutsu that is stronger than the Sharingan, and when it evolves into its third form, it will be stronger than the Rinnegan. said Fu, summarizing everything that Naruto told her. Yeah, pretty much, said Naruto. Cool. Tomorrow we have to start your training, so we have to sleep. You take the bed and I will sleep on the couch. Are you sure you don't want the bed? It is your house. I am sure. Okay. Good night, Naruto. Good night, Fu. Both of them went and slept. The next morning, Naruto slowly opened his eyes as he tried to get up, but he couldn't. He felt something heavy on his chest, so he looked down and the sight shocked him. It was Fu, sleeping on the same couch he was on, holding him like a teddy bear. Her head was rested on his chest and she had a peaceful smile on her face. His first thought was cute. Then he heard someone laughing in his head. Looks like someone has a crush, Minato teased. Naruto got all red and flustered. And no. Stop denying it, son. It's okay, Minato laughed. Naruto decided to wake Fu up. It was going to be time to train soon and they had to get ready. He slowly shook her as her eyes slowly opened. Fu, wake up. We have to train, Naruto whispered. No, she replied simply. But he stopped when Fu glared at him. Sleep, now, she ordered. He gulped. Yes, ma'am. Naruto closed his eyes and hugged Fu as she snuggled deeper into his chest. He woke up an hour later as he felt Fu move. He opened his eyes as he saw Fu get up. Good morning, Fu. Good morning, Naruto, she said. I thought you were sleeping in my bed. I felt really lonely and scared at night, so I came here. Hope you don't mind. She lied. In reality, she just wanted to stay with Naruto. Naruto nodded as he got up. 1 hour later, Naruto and Fu were both standing in Naruto's usual training ground. Fu, I am going to teach you the most useful jutsu ever. It is called Shadow Clone Jutsu. It has been 3 months since Naruto met Fu. She has grown stronger, thanks to Minato, Kurama, Chome, and Naruto. It turned out that she had an affinity towards wind and earth and was quite good with it. She had also decided to learn Fuinjutsu and was on level 2. Currently, Fu was at home, and Naruto was in the forest. He was sitting down in a meditative pose, practicing his sensory ability. He found out that he was a seigneur a month ago, and it was probably because of Kurama. Suddenly, he sensed 2 chakra signatures nearby, and it seemed like they were moving away from Konoha. He recognized that one of the signatures belonged to Hinata. He knew that she didn't have any missions, so he immediately got up and darted towards her. When he caught up to her, the sight shocked him. There was a ninja from Kyuubi, the village hidden in the clouds, holding a tied-up Hinata and running away. He pulled out a kunai and threw it at the man, causing the man to dodge and stop. The man turned around and started laughing. A small kid trying to play hero? Run away, kid, if you value your life. Naruto decided to ignore the threat and asked, Why are you kidnapping Hinata? What do you want with her? The man chuckled. Kyuubi needs the Byakugan, so this girl will produce it for us. Rage filled Naruto. How dare you even think of using her like a breeding cow? You will suffer. And how will you do that, kid? Naruto's eyes morphed into his 2-tomo hexagon as he muttered 2 words. Heavenly Tsukuyami. The world around them changed as Hinata vanished from the man's arms. They were now in a white field, with a golden sky and silver clouds. Where are we? The man asked. We are in the heavenly Tsukuyami, said Naruto. This is my world. In here I am God. I control everything here, even time. 1 second in the real world could be a year in here if I want it to be. This is where you will suffer. Kai, release, said the man, but nothing happened. Don't bother trying. This genjutsu is unbreakable. Suddenly, golden chains burst from the ground and wrapped themselves around the man's limbs. They lifted him in the air and stretched his arms and legs apart. Then, 1,000 Narutos appeared in front of the man, all holding swords. One stabbed the man as he cried out in pain, but the wound healed almost instantly. Then another stabbed the man. This will go on for a week, till you have learnt your lesson. Back in the real world, 1 second later. The man collapsed on the ground as Naruto quickly rushed forward and grabbed Hinata before she could hit the ground, deactivating his Dojutsu on the way. He softly set her down in his lap and cut off all the ropes that tied her with a kunai. Hinata was hugging him and crying in his chest as the Hokage, some Umbu, Hayashi, and 2 other Hyugas jumped down from the trees. "Naruto, what happened? Are you okay?" asked the concerned Hokage. "I am fine, Gigi. This Kumo ninja was trying to kidnap Hinata to produce more Byakugans in their village," said Naruto with venom in his voice. "While I appreciate that you saved my weakling of a daughter, I would like it if you returned her," said Hayashi. Before Naruto could respond, one of the 2 Hyuga subordinates grabbed the now sleeping Hinata as the 3 Hyugas vanished in a swirl of leaves. "If I may, Naruto, how did you manage to knock out a Jounin without even a scratch on you?" asked the old Hokage. Naruto chuckled. "All in due time, Gigi. All in due time. Just wait for 5 years till I graduate from the academy. It sounds like a long time, but the wait will be worth it." Saying this, Naruto ran away, leaving the old Hokage alone thinking, I am too old for this shit." It was the next day. Fu and Naruto were going back home from their lunch date. They had confessed to each other a week after they first met and had started dating since. On their way home, they heard a crying sound, so they decided to follow it. What they saw shocked them. It was Hinata crying in a corner. They quickly rushed towards her and comforted her. After she calmed down a bit, they asked her why she was here crying. They branded me with the sea cage bird seal. And then, they banished me from the sea clan. Hinata replied between sobs. They said that I am too weak to be a Hyuga. Naruto hugged her and rubbed her back as he clenched his other fist in anger while she cried in his chest. How could they do this to her? He thought. Hayashi banished his own daughter. Don't worry, Hinata, he said. I promise one day, I will remove the cage bird seal from you. Hinata nodded. And Naruto, I want to tell you something. Go on. I really like why you, she said quickly and shut her eyes closed tight. Naruto hesitated for a moment, but then he continued. I like you too, but I am already dating Fu. Hinata's mood immediately got worse, but Fu had an idea. We could share him if you want. She tried saying it with a straight face but became red, and so did Naruto and Hinata. Are you sure? Said Hinata while blushing madly. Yeah, why not? We can, right, Naruto? Sure, said Naruto. In Naruto's mind. I am so proud of you, my boy, said Minato while crying anime tears. You got 2 girlfriends just at the age of 7. I just wish Jiraiya was here to see this. Back in the real world. Naruto managed to calm down a bit. So where are you going to stay, Hinata? You can't stay at the Hyuga compound anymore. Can you? Hinata shook her head negatively. No, I don't have anywhere to go. You could stay with us if you want, Naruto offered as Fu nodded. Really? Hinata said as tears built up in her eyes. Of course, I was planning on buying a new house anyways. You can stay with us and train with us. We will make you stronger than any Hyuga alive, and then you prove the entire clan wrong. Hinata nodded, and then she held Naruto tightly and cried in his chest. Thank you, Naruto. Thank you. The next day, Hinata, Fu, and Naruto were in Sarutobi's office with a large briefcase. Hello, Naruto. Hello, Fu. Hinata. May I ask what brings you here? Asked the old Hokage. We want to buy a new 2-story house. For bedrooms, a kitchen, a basement, a living room, and a couple of bathrooms. Replied Naruto, getting straight to the point. We? Asked Sarutobi, raising an eyebrow. Yes, Hinata is going to be living with us. Hayashi, that bastard, branded her with the cage bird seal and banished her from the Hyuga clan. Sarutobi was enraged but kept his calm demeanor. Okay, Hinata can also do D-rank missions and you can buy a house. But from where will you get the money? Naruto grinned as he placed the briefcase on the table and opened it. Sarutobi was shocked when he saw that it was full of money. How? He asked. You gave me and Fu-S rank mission pay when we accidentally found one of Orochimaru's HIST bases while doing a D rank mission. We have done about 1,000 D rank missions by now, and the rest of the money I had stored somewhere. Naruto replied. How in the world did you both manage to do 1,000 D rank missions? Naruto and Fu smirked. Multi-shadow clone jutsu, they shouted simultaneously as the whole room was filled with clones of Naruto and Fu. To say that Hinata and Hiruzen were shocked would be an understatement. After a while, they dispelled the clone and burst out laughing, seeing the reaction on their faces. How can you make so many? Hiruzen asked. This is an A-rank jutsu. Where did you even learn it? I saw Kakashi Hatake use it against Might Guy while sparring. I tried it and it worked. And you are forgetting, old man, we are both Jinchurikis and I am an Uzumaki. I already have 4 times the chakra as you, said Naruto while grinning. Hiruzen did what any sane man would do and fainted, shortly followed by Hinata. Time skip. It has been 3 months since Naruto saved Hinata from the Kumo ninja. They have moved into a 2-story house which is just the perfect size for them. It is not too fancy, but it is comfortable. Naruto has taken the master bedroom while Hinata and Fu have also taken a room for themselves, leaving a room empty, though they both sleep with Naruto in his room every night. At first, they gave excuses, but after a while it became normal for them. Hinata has grown stronger during these past 3 months. It turned out that she had an affinity towards water and lightning, a deadly combination. This was the reason she was bad at the Juken style. She didn't have an affinity towards earth. Thanks to Naruto, they started to create a new fighting style for her, the flowing fist. It is similar to the Juken, but involved more of dodging and hitting chakra points in a flow. They might have sneaked into the Hyuga library for information on the Byakugan and Juken style. She also became a lot less shy, thanks to staying with Naruto. Naruto, Fu, and Hinata had started going to the academy. They decided to hide their true strength, personality, and relationship till they became shinobis, to avoid any fuss with the civilian council. Naruto acted like a loudmouth, obnoxious kid, and wore a stupid orange jumpsuit that stuck out like a sore thumb. Hinata decided to keep her shy act, while Fu thought it would be funny if she acted like a brooding Uchiha. Naruto and Fu had told everything to Hinata, and they had even talked to Minato, Kurama, and Chome in their mindscape. Naruto and Fu decided to make a combined mindscape where Minato, Kurama, and Chome stayed so they would have some more company. It was a grassy field with a river and a forest nearby, with some mountains in the distance. They each had a house for themselves, and the seals on both Chome and Kurama were removed. 5 years later, Naruto, Fu, and Hinata had grown tremendously through these years. Fu had 4 times the chakra reserves of the 3rd Hokage. Her taijutsu was mid-jounin level while her ninjutsu was high jounin level. Her genjutsu was non-existent, but she had become a seal master. She had decided to use 2 long daggers as her weapons. Hinata had high jounin chakra reserves. Her taijutsu was high jounin level while her ninjutsu was mid-jounin level. She didn't learn any genjutsu. She had completed and mastered her taijutsu style, the flowing fist, and also started to add her elemental affinities into it, which worked perfectly. She decided to use senbons and had learnt to make poisons. She had also learnt medical ninjutsu from Chome and was a prodigy in it. Her shyness was completely gone and had even helped Naruto in some of his pranks, secretly. Naruto could be mistaken as a Biju in human form. He was a total chakra monster and could create a literal army of shadow clones. His control surprisingly kept up, though it was a bit difficult to maintain. He had advanced the most in these 5 years. His taijutsu was mid-kage level. He too had made his own taijutsu style, the Dragon Fist. It was the most unpredictable style ever. It had taken him a whole year to complete and master it. He could knock someone out quickly by hitting their pressure points, or he could close of chakra points, as they are located in fixed places through the human body, by sending small bursts of chakra on impact. If the opponent was wearing armor, then he could just rely on his extreme speed and strength like the strong fist and also utilize tiny genjutsus to confuse the opponent. On top of that, he could use chakra scalpels and elemental manipulation integrated into his taijutsu style. All in all, this style was deadly. Naruto's genjutsu skills were mid-jounin level and he was a level 10 seal master. His Exagon had evolved to its 3-tomo stage and he had unlocked the Susanoo. He could see better than the Mangekyo Sharingan and his Holy Amaterasu and Heavenly Tsukuyomi cost a lot less chakra now. His ninjutsu was simply amazing. He had already created a few S-rank jutsus and had learnt the Flying Thunder God. He had added his elemental affinities to his Rasengan and mastered it to the point that they didn't even damage him. Shadow clones were simply amazing. He had mastered his creation of all things, gravity manipulation and healing ability. He had also discovered a new yin-yang release ability. He called it shadow control. He could melt into a shadow anytime he wanted and travel as or through shadows. This way, he could avoid any damage from any attack. He could also control other people's shadows, controlling them. He didn't need to use his own shadow like the Naras, but needed to concentrate for this ability. The relationship between Naruto, Hinata, and Fu had grown a lot. Naruto realized that the day he found Hinata and Fu kissing in his room. Damn, that had been a long make-out session between the three of them. It was the final day at the academy. The day when Naruto and his classmates finally became shinobis. The day when their masks would finally come off and Naruto, Fu, and Hinata would reveal their true strength, personality, and relationship. Naruto, Fu, and Hinata were walking through the streets of Konoha. Both Hinata and Fu clung on to an arm of Naruto, who is now 12 years old. He was the tallest member of his class, followed by Hinata and Fu. He had ditched his stupid orange jumpsuit and now wore black combat boots with orange pants that had white flames on the bottom of them. He wore a black, long-sleeved t-shirt that showed his lean but muscular body. On the center of the chest region of his t-shirt was a golden fox and a silver dragon, making the yin and yang symbol, with the symbols of fire, water, earth, lightning, and wind surrounding it. On top of it, he wore a long, black open cloak, much like his father's, and had wild golden flames on the bottom of it. It also had the red Uzumaki swirl in the center of it and a golden kanji for 9 on the top. He wore black fingerless gloves and golden wristbands with invisible seals on them, on each of his hands under the loose cloak. His hair has grown to shoulder length. To his right was Hinata. She now wore black shinobi sandals and black umbu pants with an open, lavender-colored, bulky jacket, with white fur on the inside. It had a black phoenix printed on the back of it. She also wore dark blue wristbands with invisible seals on in. To his left was Fu. She wore white pants with orange lines crisscrossing and swirling down them. On her right thigh, written in yellow, was the kanji for 7, and on her left thigh was a picture of an eagle. She wore her usual, sleeveless, midriff shirt with fishnet armor under it. She wore long, white armlets with invisible seals on them. The walk was calm. Many of the villagers didn't even recognize Naruto. When they reached the academy, the classroom was empty. They realized that they were a bit early, so they went and sat in the back of the class. Naruto was in the middle with Fu on his left and Hinata on his right. Both of them were resting their heads on Naruto's shoulders. Slowly, kids started entering the classroom, including the almighty Sasuke Uchiha, followed by his horde of fangirls. Kiba saw Hinata and Fu, both the girls he had a crush on, resting their heads on a boy's shoulder. He got angry and walked up to the group. "Hey you, what are you doing with Fu and Hinata?" he said as he pointed and shouted at Naruto. "I have a name, you know," replied Naruto calmly. "Oh yeah? And what is it?" "Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki." Kiba was shocked. This person was nothing like Naruto. "Well, just because you got new clothes, it doesn't mean you can take my Hinata and Fu. They are not yours, Kiba. They don't even like you." "Why, you little?" said Kiba as he pulled back his hand and tried to punch Naruto, but was shocked when Hinata caught his fist. "Don't you ever try to hit my boyfriend, or I will rip off what makes you a man," said Hinata as she twisted Kiba's hand. "And stop hitting on us, Kiba. We don't like you, and we are already with Naruto," said Fu as she banged Kiba's head on the table and pushed him away. Now ladies, was that really necessary? Asked Naruto. Yes, replied Fu and Hinata simultaneously. Naruto sighed. Everybody was shocked and confused at what just happened. They started talking amongst themselves when a loud voice was heard. Silence! It was Iruka using his big head jutsu. Everybody quieted down as Iruka started taking attendance. After a while, Naruto Uzumaki, said Iruka. Yo, was all he heard. When he looked up, he saw Naruto in his new outfit and was shocked. A few minutes later, Iruka had just finished giving his speech about how they had a chance to become real shinobis. Mizuki was handing out the test papers for the written portion of the exam. When Naruto got his, he knew something was wrong, so he discreetly turned on his 3-tomo hexagon. Genjutsu, huh? Naruto thought. Nice try, Mizuki, but that won't work on me. Kai! The genjutsu was dispelled, and 15 minutes later, Naruto, Fu and Hinata were done with their exam. 45 minutes later, everybody was outside for the taijutsu part of the exam. Now it is time for the taijutsu portion of the exam, said Iruka. All you have to do is last at least 2 minutes against Mizuki. Remember, he is a chunin, so it won't be easy. After a while, Naruto Uzumaki, called out Iruka. Naruto got up and got ready for the fight. He took up his dragon fist stance, in which his left leg was stretched out in front and his right leg was bent. His left palm faced Mizuki in front of him and his right fist was curled up near his waist. It's time I beat this demon, thought Mizuki as he smirked. Ready? Asked Iruka as he got a nod from both Naruto and Mizuki. Fight! Mizuki quickly rushed forward towards Naruto and tried to punch him. Naruto dodged and hit Mizuki's arms, sending small bursts of chakra on impact, and kicked him backwards. Mizuki tried to raise his arms, but it didn't work. What did you do to my arms? He shouted. I closed your main chakra points in your arms, Naruto replied. What? Impossible, screeched Sakura. Only the Hyugas can do that. The chakra points are in fixed places in the human body. I memorized these places. Of course, I can't see the exact locations of the chakra points as I don't have the Byakugan, so I estimate them and send small bursts of chakra on impact for area effect. I don't need the Byakugan to make this work, said Naruto. Damn brat, you are going to pay, said Mizuki as he charged blindly at Naruto, who smirked. You are in my field of divination. 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms, 16 palms, 32 palms, 8 trigrams, 64 palms, Naruto shouted as he blew Mizuki into a wall, knocking him out. Everybody except Hinata and Fu were beyond shocked. Naruto had just pulled a jutsu from the main house of the Hyuga clan, without even having the Byakugan. That power, Sasuke thought. It should belong to me. I am an Uchiha elite. That dope doesn't deserve it. Since Naruto knocked Mizuki out, we will have one-on-one matches, said Iruka. First match, Hinata Hyuga versus Dash. I am no longer a Hyuga sensei, so don't call me one. Hinata snapped. Okay, Hinata versus Ino Yamanaka, Iruka called, as the 2 girls got ready to fight. You ready to lose, Hinata? Asked Ino, trying to anger her opponent. Hinata sighed and replied, Just hurry up already. Begin, said Iruka, as Ino charged at Hinata, her fist raised in the air, ready to hit her. Hinata sidestepped her sloppy punch and channeled some lightning chakra into her fingers. Then she poked Ino on the head, causing her to get electrified and drop unconscious. Wait, was that lightning chakra? Iruka thought as he rubbed his eyes. What is going on today? Winner Hinata, he said. Next match, Fu versus Sakura Haruno. Both of them got ready to fight. Begin, said Iruka as Sakura charged at Fu. You are boring, said Fu as she disappeared in a gust of wind. Then Sakura felt a sudden pain in her stomach as the wind was knocked out of her. She looked down to see Fu's fist in her stomach. Then, she jumped up and kicked Sakura in the side of her head, knocking her out. What? Fu was never good at taijutsu, thought Irika. And how does she know the wind Shunshin? Winner, Fu, he said. Now it is time for the weapon throwing test. After a while, Sasuke Uchiha, called out Irika. Sasuke picked up 10 kunai and threw it at the targets. All of them hit straight in the center. Then he took 10 shuriken and threw it at a training dummy. All of them hit vital parts except one. 19 out of 20. Good job, Sasuke, said Irika. Instantly, all his fangirls started screaming his name. On the way back to his classmates, he met Naruto. Beat that dope, he said as he smirked and walked away. Next, Naruto Uzumaki. Irika called out. Naruto took 10 kunai and saw that they were blunt. He looked up to see a now recovered, smirking Mizuki staring at him. He smirked and channeled some wind chakra into the kunai knives. He then closed his eyes and jumped up, flipping in the air and throwing all the kunais at the targets. The kunais went straight through the center of the targets. Sasuke was shocked. He did it just like Itachi. How, he thought. Then Naruto picked up 10 shuriken and again channeled wind chakra through them. He then threw it at the dummy and hit the tree behind it. Ha! Naruto, you missed! Screeched Sakura, causing everyone to bring their hands to their ears. No, I didn't, said Naruto. What do you mean dash? She stopped when she saw the dummy fall to ground, sliced up into pieces. Everybody's eyes bulged out of their sockets at what just happened. Good job, Naruto, said Irika as he was the first one to get out of the shock. You get full marks. 20 on 20. How? Sasuke asked. Simple. You tend to learn a thing or two when you help Itachi massacre the entire Uchiha clan, Naruto replied. At this, Sasuke froze as a look of horror came on his face. Seeing this, Naruto burst out into laughter. You are too easy, Sasuke. Why would I want to massacre your stupid clan anyways? He said, earning chuckles from both Fu and Hinata. He went and stood beside them, who gave him a kiss on the cheek. Rage filled Sasuke as he charged at Naruto with his fist raised in the air. How dare you! Before he could reach Naruto, Hinata took out a senbon and threw it at Sasuke's neck. Immediately, Sasuke stopped dead in his tracks, unable to move. What did you do to me? He shouted. Relax. I just paralyzed you for 10 minutes. Hinata replied, getting yelled at by Sasuke's fangirls. Irika was shocked. Since when did Hinata know to use senbons and poisons? Then Hinata and Fu proceeded to throw their weapons, getting 20 on 20. Next was the final part of the exam, the ninjutsu portion. Everybody was still outside for the exam as Irika started to explain. Now it is time for the ninjutsu portion of the exam. Everyone has to do the substitution jutsu, transformation jutsu, and the clone jutsu. Then for bonus points, you can do any extra jutsu you want. After a while, only Naruto was left. Naruto, do the replacement jutsu, said Irika as he threw a blunt kunai at Naruto, who switched with a log. Now do the clone jutsu, he said. Naruto concentrated and tried to put the least amount he could. There was a puff of smoke and beside him was a pale, dead clone. Everybody started laughing. Still can't do a damn clone, he muttered. Hey, Irika-sensei, he called out. Yes, Naruto? Irika said. Is it okay if I do a different type of clone? I simply have too much chakra to do the clone jutsu. Okay. What do you mean you have too much chakra to do the clone jutsu? Irika asked. Here, let me show you, replied Naruto. Multi-shadow clone jutsu, he shouted as there was a large puff of smoke. Everybody's jaw dropped at what they saw. The entire training field was filled with clones of Naruto. PFT, what's the big deal? They are only illusions, said Sasuke. Suddenly, he felt a sharp pain in his stomach. He looked down to see 2 shadow clones of Naruto, with their fists embedded in his stomach. Is this also an illusion? They asked in unison as they dispelled along with the rest of the clones. Naruto, how in the world did you learn an A-rank Kinjutsu? Asked Irika. Irika-sensei, I can't tell everyone my secrets now, can I? Maybe I'll tell you later. Naruto replied as Irika nodded. Now do the transformation jutsu, said Irika. Naruto transformed into the fourth Hokage. Good job, Naruto. Now it is time for the bonus jutsus. Who's up first? Asked Irika. First was Kiba. He did the Fang over Fang jutsu, followed by Shikamaru, who did the shadow possession jutsu. Shino did the bug clone jutsu, Ino did mind transfer jutsu, and Choji did the expansion jutsu. Next up was Sasuke. He went through some hand signs and brought up his hand to his mouth. Fire style, fireball jutsu, he shouted as he released a huge fireball from his mouth. All his fangirls started screaming his name as he got knocked on the head by Naruto. You idiot! Look what you have done. You have started a forest fire, he said. Everybody realized that Naruto was right. Sasuke had shot his fireball at the forest. Irika-sensei, do you know any water-style jutsu? Naruto asked as Irika shook his head negatively. Ugh, you idiot Sasuke. Look where you are aiming. Now I have to correct your mistake. Come on, Hinata, said Naruto as he and Hinata went and stood in front of the burning forest. They simultaneously went through hand signs and shouted, Water style, giant water wave, as they created a giant wave that extinguished the forest fire. Fu, blow away the smoke, said Naruto as Fu nodded and went through hand signs. Wind style, wind wave, she said as she slammed her hands together, creating a wave of wind that blew all the smoke away. Everybody's jaw hit the floor. How could genins do these kinds of jutsus? Irika was the first one to break out of his shock. I am going to consider those jutsus as the bonus jutsus and not even bother asking how you three learned them. He sighed. I need a drink. Irika gave out headbands to whoever passed and said, Good job, everyone. This year we have 2 kunoichis of the year, Hinata and Fu. And this year's rookie of the year is Naruto Uzumaki. Everybody was shocked. The dead last of the class became the rookie of the year. Immediately, all the Sasuke fangirls started screaming. How can the dope become the rookie of the year? I am an Uchiha elite. I should be the one given that title, said Sasuke, causing Hinata, Fu, and Naruto to roll their eyes. I am just as shocked as you are, but he aced the writing exam, was able to knock out a Chunin, got a perfect score in the weapons throwing exam, and was able to an A-rank Kinjutsu and a B-rank water jutsu. I think he deserves the title, said Irika. Then I demand a one-on-one fight between us. Whoever wins gets the title. It's your choice, Naruto, said Irika. Naruto sighed. Let's go outside. I will end it quick. Outside, a few minutes later. The rules are simple, said Irika. Anything is allowed, but no killing or crippling strikes. Ready? Sasuke took up his Uchiha Taijutsu stance while Naruto just stood in his place. Fight, said Irika as Sasuke immediately went through hand signs, fire style, fireball jutsu, and shot a huge fireball to where Naruto was standing. He blew as much fire as he could, till his lungs ran out of air. Then he heard a voice from behind, Good night! Before he could react, Naruto chopped him in the back of the neck as he dropped unconscious. Everybody was shocked. The match lasted only 10 seconds. Irika-sensei, said Naruto, can I go now? I am hungry. Irika nodded as Naruto started walking away. Hinata and Fu quickly followed him and latched on to his arms. Today was a weird day. The dead last became the rookie of the year. It just made everyone wonder, what more could Naruto be hiding? Naruto, Hinata, and Fu were walking down a street. They just fished celebrating at Ichiraka Ramen and were now going home. So how much are we going to reveal? Asked Fu. Not much. It will be best if we are on the same team, which we probably will. We will reveal some of our powers, but not everything. It depends on which team we are on. If we are on the same team, then we won't need to hide much and tell the sensei about our powers. If we are not, then only tell the sensei if they ask you about it, and if Sakura Haruno or Kiba or the almighty Uchiha is on your team, then don't tell a thing to anyone. It will be a big problem," replied Naruto. Fu nodded with a chuckle. Suddenly, someone bumped into her and ran past them. They turned around to see Mizuki running with a large scroll in his hand. Naruto narrowed his eyes. "That is the scroll of sealing. What is Mizuki doing with it? I don't think he is supposed to have it," said Hinata. "Mizuki is a traitor. Let's go," said Naruto as they ran after him. The trio arrived in the forest to see Irika facing of Mizuki. "Mizuki, why do you have the scroll of sealing?" asked Irika. "Isn't it obvious, sensei? He is a traitor," said Naruto as they jumped beside Irika. "Naruto, Fu, Hinata, what are you doing here?" asked Irika. "The idiot bumped into us while running, so we followed him," replied Hinata. Irika nodded. "It doesn't matter. I am a Chunin, but you are just Genins. You cannot beat me," said Mizuki. Naruto's sweat dropped. "I already kicked your ass in the academy. What makes you think I won't do it again?" said Naruto. "Because you are a demon," Mizuki replied. "Ever wonder why all the villagers hate you?" "No, Mizuki. It is forbidden," said Irika. Before Naruto could respond, Mizuki spoke up again. "It is because the fourth Hokage couldn't kill the nine-tailed fox that attacked 12 years ago, so he sealed the beast inside you. You are the Kyuubi reborn." Mizuki expected Naruto to be shocked and broken down, but nothing happened. His expression remained the same. "You idiotic traitor. I knew that the Kyuubi was sealed inside me ever since I was 5 years old. I am not the Kyuubi. I am just her Jinchuriki. Look at my clothes. I have the kanji for 9 on my back and a fox on my shirt. How did you not notice that?" Mizuki and Irika were shocked. "He broke the third's law," said Fu. "You know how to die," replied Hinata. "Rock dash. Paper dash. Scissor dash," said the 3 of Genin. "I win," said Naruto with a big smile on his face. Hinata and Fu pouted. "No fair." "Ah, don't be sad. Next time I won't participate," said Naruto as he went and kissed both his girls on the cheek. What are you guys doing?" asked a confused Irika. "We were deciding who was going to fight him," replied Hinata. "What? You were joking, right?" asked Irika. Mizuki burst out into laughter. Naruto sighed. "Hinata, Fu, make sure sensei doesn't interfere. I want to have some fun," said Naruto with a glint in his eyes that promised pain. "You can't be serious. You are letting him fight Mizuki alone." Fu sighed. "He beat Mizuki in the academy, didn't he? And do you really think we would let him fight if we didn't know he could handle it? He is our boyfriend after all. We would never let him get hurt, though there aren't many people who can hurt him." "What exactly do you mean by our? Is he both of your boyfriend? Since when?" Irika asked with a shocked face. "How did he realize this so late?" "Yes, he has been our boyfriend since 5 years," Hinata replied. Irika was shocked to say the least. "You mean all this time in the academy it has all been an act?" "Yes, though he does have crazy energy and inhumane stamina. He is not a loudmouth, idiotic brat. He is a very smart and powerful person. We have been living and training with him since Fu came to this village, and he saved me from a Kumo Jounin that was trying to kidnap me 5 years ago." "You have been living with him? That's a shocker. Wait, why don't you live in the Hyuga compound?" Hinata's expression got darker. "After the kidnapping, Hayashi and the elders branded me with the cage bird seal and banished me from the clan. The next day Naruto and Fu found me and asked me to live with them. I agreed and also confessed to Naruto, and since then, Fu and I started sharing Naruto." Irika noted that she didn't call Hayashi as father but decided not to ask about it. He quickly wiped a little bit of blood leaking from his nose and asked, "Did he really defeat a Jounin at the age of 7 on his own?" Yes, Fu replied. How? He has certain abilities. After beating Mizuki, the Hokage will probably grill him with questions, so he will probably let you stay since you are one of the few people he trusts. Irika nodded. Suddenly, Naruto appeared beside them with two clones carrying a bruised, burnt, and broken Mizuki. Irika blinked in surprise. That was quick. What happened? He was talking too much and didn't put up a good fight, so I got bored and ended it, replied Naruto. Take the scroll and let's go to the Hokage office. You have a lot to explain, said Irika. Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly and nodded. At the Hokage office, Sarutobi was reading one of his Ika books when suddenly the door burst open and Naruto and group walked in, carrying Mizuki and the scroll of sealing. Naruto dropped Mizuki on the floor and threw the scroll at the Hokage. Here, the scroll of sealing and the traitor who stole it. You should keep it in a safer place. If this Chunin could steal it, then imagine if Jounins try. Hiruzen raised an eyebrow. He snapped his fingers and an umbu took the unconscious Mizuki away. Explain, demanded the old Hokage. Your 5 years are up and I am sure that this will give me a headache, so I want to sleep it off. Naruto sighed. First tell the umbus to go and activate the privacy seal. I trust Irika-sensei so he can stay, and Fu and Hinata already know everything about me. Hiruzen nodded and flicked his hand and all umbus went out of the room. He then went through some hand signs activating a privacy seal. Ask whatever you want, said Naruto. How strong are you? Asked Hiruzen. Strong enough to kick Jiraiya's ass back to Mount Myaboku if he peeps on me and my girls. Hiruzen again raised an eyebrow. Your girls? Fu and Hinata. I had a feeling this would happen. And why do you think Jiraiya would peep on you? Firstly, he is a self-proclaimed super pervert. Secondly, if he knows that his godson has 2 girlfriends, there is no way he will not try to peep. Hiruzen's face instantly became serious. How much do you know? All of it, replied Naruto. I know that my dad sealed the Kyuubi in me and my mom is not in the village for some reason. Irika was shocked. The 4th Hokage is your father? Yes, don't tell me you didn't notice. Take away my whisker marks and I look just like him, Naruto answered. Irika nodded. Who is your mother? Kushina Uzumaki. A shiver ran through Irika's spine. You are the son of the Yellow Flash and Red Death. You will definitely become a monster. Naruto chuckled. Who told you all of this? Asked Hiruzen. What I am about to tell you can't be known by anyone outside this room. Not even the council. I will reveal it to them at a later date, said Naruto. Hiruzen nodded as Naruto continued. I was told about my heritage by my father. Hiruzen blinked once, twice, and there was a long moment of silence. What? Naruto. He is dead. How in the world could he talk to you? Said Irika. Right before he died, he convinced the Shinigami to not take his soul and seal it inside me along with some of his chakra instead, replied Naruto. There was again silence in the room. Just take them to the mindscape, said Fu. Good idea, said Naruto. Irika-sensei, go stand next to the old man. Irika followed the instructions. Then Naruto walked up to them and put his hands on their shoulders as the girls grabbed onto him. Now everyone close your eyes, he said. Everyone closed their eyes, and when they opened it, they were in a large clearing with 3 houses in it and a forest surrounding it. There was a river flowing nearby and snow-covered mountains were in the distance. Where are we? Asked Irika. We are in Fu and Naruto's mindscape, replied Hinata. 3 figures started walking out of the houses, towards them. The first one was a woman with long, blood-red hair and red, silted eyes in a long black gown. The second one was a man with blonde, spiky hair and blue eyes. He wore a standard Konoha Jounin vest, blue pants, and a long white cloak with red flames on the bottom. It had the kanji for 4 written on it. The third one was also a man. He wore a gray suit with a yellow shirt and an orange tie. He had messy, spiky hair that was a mix of green, yellow, and orange. As the three got closer, Hiruzen and Irika instantly froze. Minato, how are you here? And who are these two? Asked a shocked Hiruzen Sarutobi. I believe introductions are in order, said Naruto. Gigi, Irika-sensei. This is Kurama, my father and Chome. Minato hugged Sarutobi and shook Irika's hand. I have heard a lot about you, Irika, said Minato. You are one of the only people who has treated my son properly, and for that, I thank you. Irika smiled. I just did what any good person should have done. May I ask, how are you here, Lord Fourth? Aren't you supposed to be dead? I had a feeling that the villagers would treat Naruto badly, so I convinced the Shinigami to seal my soul and some of my chakra inside Naruto along with Kurama instead of him taking my soul. He needed a father while growing up, replied Minato. Irika nodded. Wait, that means Kurama is the Kyuubi? Asked Hiruzen. Yep, that is my title, replied Kurama. No offense, but I thought you would be a giant fox with a deep voice, destroying everything in your path, said Irika. Kurama laughed. This is my human form, and I only keep the deep voice to scare away people so they don't bother me, and I didn't want to destroy your village. In fact, I held back, trying not to destroy your village. I was controlled by a masked man with a Sharingan. If I truly wanted to destroy the village, then I could have just Biju bombed the whole place in a matter of minutes. Irika and Hiruzen nodded. Then they turned to Chome. I am Chome, or as you might know me, the Seven Tails. I was sealed inside Fu in Taki a few years before she got transferred here. Fu and Naruto decided to combine their mindscapes with the help of a few seals, so I could stay with Minato and Kurama and not get bored listening to Fu's perverted thoughts about Naruto and Hinata. You would be surprised to know how dirty-minded this girl is, said Chome. Immediately, he got punched in the face by Fu. Idiot! I am not dirty-minded, she said. Oh yeah? Then what was it about you paralyzing Naruto with Hinata's poisons and then tying him naked to the bed while he is asleep and coming in the room with Hinata in nurse outfits and dash? He was cut off when he got punched again in the face by Fu. Just shut up, she said as she and Hinata were bright red and Naruto was on the verge of fainting. The three other men were bleeding from their nose and had perverted grins on their faces while Kurama was laughing. Ahem. Naruto cleared his throat as everyone calmed down. Any more questions? He asked. How strong are you really? Asked Sarutobi. You could say I am Kage level while Hinata and Fu are Jounin level. Hinata has mastered her water and lightning elements while Fu has mastered earth and wind, replied Naruto as he smirked. I have mastered all 5 elements and am a ninjutsu and kenjutsu expert, while Hinata concentrates on healing and poisons. Fu and I are also level 10 seal masters. Sarutobi and Irika's jaw dropped to the floor as they simultaneously asked, How? Well, Dad and Kurama have been training me ever since I was 5, and they also started training Fu, Hinata, and me along with Chome when we turned 7. 2 Bijus and a Kage sealed inside you does have advantages. Not to mention that we can create tons of shadow clones that speed up our training, replied Naruto as Sarutobi and Irika nodded dumbly. Anything else you might be hiding from us? Asked Hiruzen. Of course, there still are many things, but I will not reveal them yet. Maybe at the Chunin exams. Hiruzen nodded. Also, you cannot tell any of this to the council just yet. I will reveal it to them later when the time is right, said Naruto as Hiruzen nodded again. Anything I can do for you for catching Mizuki? You will get a B rank mission pay, asked Hiruzen. Actually, there is. Can you put Fu, Hinata, and me on the same team? I know asking Big Bro Kakashi to be our sensei will be a stretch since the council would want him to teach the Uchiha, replied Naruto. Okay, that will be done. Now let's get out of here. We have our promotion to celebrate back at home, said Naruto as everybody exited the mindscape. The next day, Naruto was peacefully sleeping in his room with his 2 princesses beside him when a knock was heard. Naruto groggily opened his eyes and made a shadow clone, telling it to see who was at the door. He smiled, looking at his two beautiful girlfriends sleeping beside him. He had always wanted this. People to love him and live with him. Now he had it and he wouldn't trade it for anything. His clone dispersed and he got the memories from it. It was an Umbu that had come to inform him that he was requested to come to the council room along with Hinata and Fu in 1 hour. Naruto kissed both his girlfriends on the forehead. "Hey, wake up!" he whispered. "We have to go to the council room in 1 hour. Wake up, it will be fun." The two girls slowly stirred. 5 more minutes, said Hinata. 5 more minutes, said Fu. Naruto got an idea. "Hinata, Fu, wake up. We have to bully Hayashi and the civilian council," he said. Immediately the two girls shot out of the bed. Naruto chuckled as the two girls kissed him and dragged him into the shower. 1 hour later. Naruto pushed the doors leading to the council room open as he, Fu and Hinata walked in. All eyes were on them. "What? I got something on my face?" asked Naruto as Sarutobi chuckled. "No, Naruto," he said. "Hayashi and the civilian council have called for this meeting and have asked for you to be present along with your girlfriends." Naruto nodded. "So what's the special occasion?" he asked as Koharu, an elder, spoke up. "We have received word that you were able to defeat the Uchiha prodigy in 10 seconds and you got a perfect score in everything in the academy graduation exam. Same goes for Hinata and Fu, who are clearly in a relationship with you. Not only that, but you know B-rank jutsus and the multi-shadow clone jutsu, which is an A-rank forbidden jutsu, for which you shouldn't have enough chakra to do, let alone create thousands of them. Mind telling us how?" "No," Naruto simply replied. "No? We are the council. Answer the question, boy," screeched a woman from the civilian council, named Mabuki Haruno. "Geez, shut up. We don't want to go deaf," said Fu as she rubbed her ears. "You are the civilian council. You are to only advise the Hokage in civilian matters. Me knowing jutsus is a shinobi matter, so I don't have to answer anything to you. I don't even know why you guys are even here. As for you, elder, your job is also to advise the Hokage, not question me. The only people I am obligated to answer is the TI department, the Shinobi Council, and the Hokage. Nobody else," said Naruto, earning a chuckle from the Hokage. Inoichi looked impressed while Choza grinned and Shikaku just muttered, "Troublesome blondes." Hayashi kept his calm demeanor but appeared a bit ticked off. "Still, we would like to know how you, Fu and Hinata were able to do all that," said Shikaku as Naruto mentally cursed and Minato laughed in his mind. Naruto muttered something about stupid Naras and said, "Simple. We trained and hid our skills because the civilian council has problems with me and would do anything to hold me and anyone associated with me back. They still don't understand the difference between a sealing scroll and a kunai." The Shinobi Council nodded as Inoichi spoke up. "That still doesn't explain how you were able to perform B-rank jutsus and make thousands of clones." "You are forgetting Inoichi-san," said Naruto. "Fu and I are Jinchurikis and have massive chakra reserves, while Hinata has been training to increase her chakra reserves from 5 years. On top of that, I am an Uzumaki. A normal Uzumaki Chunin should have Kage-level reserves. Add that up with being a Jinchuriki and you get a chakra monster. For knowing those jutsus, let's just say we have been receiving training from someone for many years. Can't tell you who just yet, but we have told the Hokage." Inoichi nodded. "He and the girl are clearly possessed by the Kyuubi and Nanabi. There is no way a genin can do those things. I say we kill them before they get any stronger and destroy the village," said Mabuki Haruno. "Didn't you hear what he just said? He said that we have been training for many years," said Hinata. "Yeah, if we were the Bijus, then wouldn't we have just destroyed the village if we wanted to? And if you were so scared of us destroying the village, then shouldn't you have treated us better? Treating us bad would have only increased the chances of us wanting to destroy the village," said Fu. "Why, you are lying. Why should we believe you demons?" said Mabuki. Naruto sighed. "Fu, they don't understand words. Let's just show them," he said as Fu nodded. They went through hand signs and bit their thumb. They dropped some blood on the floor as the blood slowly turned into clones of Naruto and Fu. Then the clones went up in a puff of smoke, and standing in place of them were a woman in a black gown and a man in a gray suit. "Yo Hiruzen, can you give Fu one of the copies of your Ika books?" said the man as he got punched in the head by Fu. "Shut up," she said. Sarutobi chuckled. "Not the time for that, Chome," he said as Shibi Aburame cleared his throat. "Oh right, I forgot to introduce you guys. This is Kurama or the Kyuubi, the Nine Tails," said Naruto as he pointed towards the woman. "And this is Chome or the Nanabi, the Seven Tails," he said as he pointed towards the man. Suddenly the room got tense. "YYU released the demons. Now they will destroy the village," said Mabuki Haruno. "Oh relax, we won't destroy this village. Unless of course you hurt Naruto, Fu or Hinata and they let us lose," said Kurama. "We aren't mindless beasts like you humans think we are. We have our own personalities and feelings. Besides, I didn't want to destroy this village 12 years ago. I was controlled by a masked man with a Sharingan. And don't even think of using that little Uchiha prick to do it. He will never be strong enough, and even if he was, it is impossible. Naruto has put anti-Sharingan seals on me. I can't be controlled again, and nor can Chome," she said. "It is true. Right before Minato died, he told me about the masked man controlling Kurama," said the old Hokage. "Why, you are lying. You can't possibly be the Kyuubi. It was a giant fox full of malice," said Hamura. "Well, this is my human form. As for my malice, I don't have any since Naruto erased it all. But I can very well show you who I am," said Kurama. She then started to transform into a large orange fox, the size of Hinata, with 9 tails swinging behind it. Suddenly, the room filled with killer intent as all the people who were there 12 years ago on the day of the Kyuubi attack remembered the feeling. There was a puff of smoke and Kurama returned back to her human form as all the killer intent vanished. "Remember that feeling? Look, I am sorry that I killed your loved ones and you hate me for that, but I wasn't in control of my actions and I did what I could. I tried resisting the genjutsu and fought back so only a quarter of the village was destroyed instead of the entire thing," said Kurama. "Naruto, I am going back," she said as she burst into a puddle of blood which soon disappeared. "I'll go check on her," said Chome as he also disappeared in a puddle of blood. "She used to feel really bad about killing those people, you know?" said Naruto. "Used to?" asked Sum Inazaka. "She still feels a bit bad about it, but not nearly as much as before after she saw how the villagers treated me," replied Naruto. Some of the civilian council members looked down in shame, but the others remained the same. "Anything else you people might want to ask?" asked Naruto. "Yes, there is," said Hayashi Hyuga, the head of the Hyuga clan. Everyone raised an eyebrow. "Well, what is it?" asked Naruto. "I have been told that yesterday you performed one of the Hyuga clan's main branch techniques during the academy graduation exam. From where did you learn it? The 8 trigram 64 palms is supposed to be a secret clan technique," replied the Hyuga clan head, causing most of the people to gasp. "My beautiful girlfriend taught me it, of course," said Naruto as he grinned and pulled Hinata close to him. Hayashi's face turned angry. "How can this weakling teach you anything? She couldn't even do it before. Her younger sister was able to beat her. She is a failure." Hinata, Fu and Naruto burst out laughing. "Oh Hayashi, the only reason I lost to Hanabi was because I was too kind to hurt a little girl, especially my younger sister. And the reason I didn't do the 8 trigram 64 palms is not because I couldn't, it is because you didn't let me do it on training dummies. You made me do it on branch members, but I refused to hurt someone for no reason. Also, I don't have an affinity for Earth like the rest of you Hyugas, so the Jukin isn't really for me," said Hinata. Hayashi was enraged. "Still, how dare you teach our clan techniques to someone as unworthy as him?" Naruto burst out laughing. "You have no idea how ironical that statement is. Trust me, Hayashi, I don't need your stupid clan techniques or your stupid eyes to perform them. The only reason I used that technique was because I didn't want to show my own skills. And also I wanted to anger that Uchiha prick. He said. How dare you speak of Lord Uchiha that way? Shouted a civilian. You call him Lord Uchiha, yet he hasn't even activated the Sharingan. His brother Itachi was way better. He was a prodigy and wasn't arrogant about it, said Naruto. Forget about him. For leaking clan secrets, I hereby sentence you, Hinata Hyuga, to death, said Hayashi as he made a hand sign and looked straight at Hinata, but nothing happened. Hinata started chuckling. You know, father, you should be sent to prison for attempted murder of a Konoha shinobi. I am no longer a Hyuga, so you have no rights over me, she said as she removed her headband. Hayashi's eyes widened. How do you not have the cage bird seal? He said as everybody's eyes widened. Naruto removed it for me, Hinata replied as everyone looked at Naruto. What? He asked. I am good with seals and I had a feeling you would try something like this, Hayashi, so I removed the seal. Besides, it didn't look good on her. Green doesn't really suit her, replied Naruto. How good are you exactly with seals? I know for a fact that even Jiraiya of the Sannin couldn't remove the cage bird seal, said Shikaka Nara, the head of the Nara clan. Fu smirked. Naruto and I are level 10 seal masters. Everybody's eyes widened. How? Even Jiraiya is only a level 8 seal master, said Shikaku. We got taught by someone very close to us, especially Naruto, said Fu. Don't be surprised. I am an Uzumaki after all. It runs in my blood, said Naruto smirking. May I ask who this person is? Said Shibi Aburame, the head of the Aburame clan. Now why would I tell you? Gigi knows and the council has no business knowing the skills and secrets of a mere genin. And to every member of this council, don't bother sending people to spy on us while we are training or to search my home. We train in areas that are totally secure with seals, meaning no thing or person other than me, Hinata or Fu can enter the marked area. Heck, you can't even see or hear anything inside it. All you will see is a large black cube, and there is nothing that is important to us that is kept in our house. If there is anything, then it is hidden safely and secure with blood and chakra seals, said Naruto with a smirk on his face. Hiruzen sighed. Naruto, you can go home now. Members of the Civilian Council, I suggest you think about what has been spoken today about Naruto's status as a Jinchuriki and please don't get any absurd ideas. Naruto is completely stable and Kurama means no harm to the village. The person who you should hate is the masked Uchiha that controlled Kurama and caused the death of your loved ones and our beloved fourth Hokage, he said. Hiruzen snapped his fingers as two umbus appeared beside him. Take Hayashi away to prison. Even though he is a clan head, he should know better than to try to kill a Konoha shinobi, he said as Hayashi frowned but went with the umbus without resistance. After a while, everyone left the council room except Hiruzen, who sighed, I am too old for this shit. That evening in the prison, Hayashi was sitting in his cell with his head lowered when he heard footsteps. He looked up to see one of the Hyuga elders standing in front of him. How did you end up here? Asked the elder. Hayashi clenched his teeth as he replied. Hinata taught Naruto Uzumaki the 8 trigram 64 palms, and he was able to perform it perfectly in the academy graduation exams. I tried to get rid of her by using the cage bird seal, but it didn't work. It turns out that the Uzumaki boy is a seal master and was able to remove her seal. They then blamed me for trying to kill a Konoha shinobi, as she is not a part of our clan anymore and I don't have any rights over her, he said. Said the elder. The Uzumaki, Hinata, and the other girl, Fu, need to be taken care of permanently. We can't risk them leaking clan secrets. Imagine they leak our clan techniques to other clans and civilians. The Hyuga clan will be doomed. Hayashi nodded. That night in Naruto's house, Naruto, Fu, and Hinata were sleeping peacefully in Naruto's room, while 3 men snuck into their house. Do you remember our orders? Asked the first man. Yes, replied the second man. Eliminate the demon and his whores and leave no traces related to us behind. Good, now let's get moving, said the third man as they quickly entered the house. They reached the room in which the three lovers were sleeping and looked down upon the sleeping bodies on the bed. This is too easy, said the first man as he took out 3 kunai knives and threw them at the lovers. Just as the kunai hit their targets, the 3 sleeping on the bed burst into puffs of smoke and appeared behind the men. You both get the bitches. I'll handle the demon, said one of the assassins. The fights didn't last long. Fu easily slit the throat of her attacker while Hinata paralyzed and knocked out her opponent. Naruto was about to stab his opponent in the chest when something happened that he didn't expect. A fourth man appeared behind them and threw a kunai to the back of his and his girlfriend's heads. He didn't know what to do. He was quite fast, but the kunai had almost reached them and he knew he wasn't fast enough to save both his girls. Suddenly, his hexagon activated, but it didn't stay like that for long. It slowly evolved into something different. The outer part of his eyes had now turned black and had golden rings in them. His eyeballs had now turned golden and had a white, horizontal 8 or an infinity symbol in them, with a black slit running through the middle of it. Time seemed to slow down till it stopped completely. Everybody and everything was frozen. Naruto decided to think about this later and used this time to quickly catch the kunai in midair and throw them down to the ground and slit the throat of his opponent and the new attacker. Suddenly, everybody and things started moving again. What just happened? Asked Fu. One moment we are about to be impaled by kunais and the next they are on the floor and your opponent and the new attacker are dead. That wasn't sheer speed now, was it? Asked Hinata. No, my hexagon has evolved, and I think I just stopped time, replied Naruto. So, there was an assassination attempt by 4 jounins. Do you know who sent them? Asked Hiruzen Sarutobi. It has been a few hours since the 4 assassins had come to kill them. Naruto was enraged that Hinata's and Fu's life was in danger. He hadn't thought that someone from the village would be stupid enough to try and kill them. Apparently he was wrong. While Fu set up seals all around the house to protect them from another break-in, Naruto tortured the only alive assassin to find out who sent them and Hinata cleaned up the messed-up house. Yes, replied Naruto. It was Hamashi Hyuga, one of the Hyuga elders who sent these branch members to assassinate me and the girls. We killed 3 of them and left 1 alive to torture and get the information. Then we cleaned up and set seals around the house, so if anyone tries to enter without us letting them, they will be shocked, burnt, and poisoned immediately, rendering them unconscious. Then we dropped the jounin off at the torture and interrogation department and came here. Hiruzen nodded and sighed. Hamashi, along with the assassin, will be executed after the interrogation is complete. The Hyugas really crossed the line this time, didn't they? Yes, I never thought that they were so afraid of us leaking their secrets that they would actually try and kill us. But who am I kidding? They think that their techniques are the best, so they don't learn anything else. They are the all-seeing Hyugas after all, said Hinata in a tone filled with venom and dripping with sarcasm. Well, you 3 should head over to the academy now. Today you will be assigned to your teams, said the old Hokage as the 3 nodded and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. The Hokage then looked at his desk and saw the piles of paperwork he had to complete. Is it just me, or has the paperwork increased? Damn you, Naruto. In the academy 1 hour later, Naruto, Fu and Hinata were sitting at the back of their class, waiting for Irika to announce the teams. Good morning, class, said Irika as he entered the class. I know that most of you are very excited to know your teams, so I won't waste your time. Team 1. Irika says the teams till Team 6. Team 7. Since there is an extra graduate this year, this team will have 4 members instead of the normal 3. Kiba Inazaka, Shino Aburame, Sasuke Uchiha, and Sakura Haruno. Your son Dash. Yes, take that Ino pig. I am on the team with Sasuke Kuin, screamed Sakura as everybody flinched and Irika glared at her. As I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted, said Irika. The sensei for Team 7 will be Kakashi Hatake. TCH, why do I have an extra teammate? They will only slow me down, thought Sasuke. Team 8. Irika continued. Naruto Uzumaki, Hinata, and Fu. Your sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. The three lovers grinned. This was going to be awesome. Since Team 9 is still in circulation, we will move to Team 10. Irika continued. Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara, and Choji Akimichi. Your sensei will be Asuma Sarutobi. Now everyone please wait here for a while till your senseis come and pick you up. 5 minutes later. A man with a cigarette in his mouth and a woman covered in bandages walked into the class. Team 10, follow me, said the man as Ino, Shikamaru, and Choji him as he walked out of the classroom. Team 8, follow me, said the woman as Naruto, Fu, and Hinata followed her out of the classroom. A few minutes later at Training Ground 8. The team had just arrived at the training ground and were sitting on the trunk of a fallen tree while Kurenai stood in front of them. Before we start anything, let's start with the introductions, said Kurenai as the rest nodded. My name is Kurenai Yuhi. My likes are picking flowers and practicing genjutsu. My dislikes are people who say genjutsu is useless, rapists, and people who say women are weak. My dream is to prove to everyone that genjutsu is very useful and that women are not weak. Now your turn, Hinata, said Kurenai. Hinata nodded. My name is Hinata. My likes are Naruto, Fu, training, and poisons. My dislikes are Hyugas and stuck-up people and the villagers that hate Naruto. My dream is to become a strong kunoichi and have a family, said Hinata with a smile. Next up, Fu, said Kurenai. My name is Fu and I am the seven-tailed Jinchuriki. My likes are Hinata, Naruto, training, flying, and the Bijus. My dislikes are perverts, villagers that hate Naruto, and stuck-up pricks like the Hyugas or the Uchiha. My dream is to make all the villages stop treating the Bijus as monsters or beasts and actually treat them like wise beings of chakra, said Fu as Kurenai looked at her in shock, but before she could say anything Naruto continued. My name is Naruto Uzumaki and I am the nine-tails Jinchuriki. My likes are Hinata, Fu, the Bijus, ramen, and training. My dislikes are people who hate Bijus and those who don't understand a difference between a sealing scroll and a kunai. I also don't like the Hyugas and stuck-up pricks like the Uchiha. My dream is to stop people from hating the Bijus and to save the world from a certain doom. Kurenai looked at them in shock. Naruto, you know that you are a Jinchuriki? And Fu, you are one too. Of course I know. I literally have a fox on my t-shirt and the number 9 on my cloak. Is that not enough for people to understand it? Naruto deadpanned. But how? Since when do you know this and why are you two protecting the Bijus? Kurenai asked. Naruto has known since he was 5 and I have known it practically my whole life. The reason why we don't hate the Bijus is because they aren't evil beings of destruction like everybody thinks they are. The only reason why they attack humans is because they attack them first and try to seal them away. Tell me, would you not retaliate if there are people trying to capture you and lock you away in a prison for 1 or multiple lifetimes only for them to use your power while you did nothing to them? Asked Fu. Kurenai shook her head, no, as Fu continued. You can't blame the Bijus for attacking and hating humans. They did nothing to humans till that stupid Hashirama Senju captured them and Madara Uchiha controlled the 9 tails. Kurenai frowned at her talking bad about the first Hokage but asked, then how do you explain the Kyuubi attacking the village 12 years ago? Kurama didn't want to attack the village. On the night of Naruto's birth, a masked man with a Sharingan had come and kidnapped Naruto. While his dad was saving him, the masked man released Kurama from his mother and put her under a genjutsu to destroy the village. While Kurama tried to fight the genjutsu and not destroy the village, Naruto's father and the masked man fought, and after getting injured, he escaped. Knowing that he couldn't beat the Kyuubi, Naruto's dad sealed Kurama into Naruto. If the Kyuubi actually wanted to destroy the village, then the whole village would be destroyed within minutes. She is the strongest tailed beast after all, said Hinata. So you are telling me that the Kyuubi has a name and it didn't want to attack the village. It was under a genjutsu from a masked man with a Sharingan and actually tried not to destroy the village. The Kyuubi is a she and Naruto's mother was the previous Jinchuriki, And Naruto's father was the fourth Hokage? Asked Kurenai. Yeah, pretty much, said Hinata. Sensei? Kurenai-sensei? I think you broke her, Hinata, said Naruto as he saw the unconscious Kurenai on the ground. Hinata chuckled sheepishly. Hee. Let's wait for her to get up. 10 minutes later. Kurenai wakes up. Hey Hinata, I had the craziest dream. You said that the fourth was Naruto's father and the Kyuubi was a girl and a bunch of crazy stuff. Sensei, it wasn't a dream. Wait, Sensei. Don't faint again, said Hinata as she violently shook Kurenai. Okay, I won't. By the way, who told you all of this? Asked Kurenai. Kurama and my dad, replied Naruto. Oh, okay. Wait, what? The fourth is dead, said Kurenai. Well, yes, he did die, but he convinced the Shinigami to seal his soul and half of his chakra into me, so I can talk to him and Kurama, Naruto said. Kurenai just stared at him blankly and nodded. Why exactly are you telling me all this? You know that you aren't officially my team yet and might go back to the academy, right? Oh, we will pass the true genin test, and besides, Hinata said that we can trust you, and if we hide most things from you then we wouldn't be able to work as a team, said Fu. Kurenai nodded. Now that the introductions are done, meet me here, tomorrow at 10 a.m. for your genin test. Everybody nodded and left. The next day at training ground 8:10 a.m. Naruto, Fu, Hinata were facing Kurenai. So what exactly do we have to do to pass the test? Asked Naruto. Simple, all you have to do is land one hit on me. Anything is allowed and come at me with the intent to kill, said Kurenai. Fu smirked. Underestimating us already, Sensei? Are you sure you want us to come at you with the intent to kill? Yes, if you don't come at me with the intent to kill then you won't be able to pass, said Kurenai. Naruto chuckled and whispered something in their ears as they nodded and Kurenai looked confused. Begin, she said. She expected them to hide like normal ninjas do, but that didn't happen. Fu disappeared from in front of her and appeared behind her and tried to sweep her legs away. Thankfully, she noticed this and jumped in the air. Immediately, she got hit by two paralyzing senbons by Hinata as Naruto appeared below her and kicked her in the air. Fu appeared above her and drop-kicked her, slamming her on the ground. Hinata walked beside a dazed Kurenai and pulled the senbon out, while Kurenai was wondering what just happened. She held up a hand seal and said, "Release," but nothing happened. She slowly got up, shaking her head. So do we pass, Kurenai-sensei? Asked a grinning Naruto as Kurenai could only nod. How? She asked as Fu replied, We trained. What exactly did you whisper in their ears, Naruto? Asked Kurenai. Naruto smirked and replied, I told them to not come with the intent to kill and keep their resistance seals on. Kurenai's eyes widened to the size of dinner plates. Why, you mean that you were wearing resistance seals this whole time? Yep, replied Hinata. What level seals? Asked Kurenai. Level 5, replied Hinata. What? That's impossible. It is even more difficult than walking through thick mud. No genin can move with that much resistance, let alone move at the speeds you three do. Heck, the only other person who would be able to move properly with this high resistance is my guy, and that is because he is a jounin who specializes in taijutsu and does crazy workouts. From where did you even get them? Asked a shocked Kurenai. My dad taught me how to make them, said Naruto. Of course he did, said Kurenai. By the way, how did you manage such flawless teamwork if you didn't plan for it? Asked Kurenai. Sensei, we have been living together and have been trained by Naruto's dad, Kurama and Chome, the Seven Tails, ever since we were 7. We know what each other is thinking even without looking at them. Kurenai nodded. Wait, you have been living together? Yes, replied Hinata. Why? And how did nobody know? The academy reports say that Naruto was the dead last, loudmouth, but he seems nothing like it. It said Hinata was a shy girl and Fu was an emo. Why did you hide your skills? You see, Kurenai-sensei, The villagers and the civilian council hate me and would do anything to make my life miserable. If we didn't hide our relationship in dash, said Naruto as he was interrupted by Kurenai. Wait, you are in a relationship? With Hinata or Fu? Asked Kurenai. Both, replied Naruto. Wait, what? You pervert. Why would you accept this girl's? Did he force you? Asked an enraged Kurenai. Calm down, sensei. He is not a pervert, and no, he did not force us. Back when I was kicked out of the Hyuga compound right after Naruto saved me dash, said Hinata as she was also interrupted by Kurenai. It was Naruto who saved you? How did he manage to beat a jounin at the age of 7? Asked Kurenai. You really need to stop doing that, sensei, scolded Hinata. Sorry. As I was saying, the next day I was branded with the cage bird seal and banished from the Hyuga clan. I was crying at a corner when Naruto and Fu saw me and consoled me. They then asked me to live with them since I didn't have a house. And yes, before you ask, Fu started living with Naruto ever since she came to this village from Taki, because both of them had a tough life and could relate to each other since they were both Jinchurikis. So I accepted and confessed my feelings to Naruto, and surprisingly, he liked me back but couldn't date me because he was already with Fu. But Fu, being the nice pervert she is, agreed to share Naruto with me because we knew he would love us both equally. The next day we bought a new house with whatever money we had and lived and trained together ever since. In fact, Naruto was the one to slow us down. If he didn't, then Fu, being the massive pervert she is, would already be pregnant, said Hinata as Fu turned red. How did he beat a jounin at the age of 7? Asked Kurenai. I started my training with Dad and Kurama when I was 5 and I had a lot of tricks up my sleeves, replied Naruto. Kurenai nodded. Fu is a pervert? She asked. Hinata, you aren't supposed to say that to sensei, whined Fu. You didn't deny it, so you are a pervert, said Hinata while smirking. Well, yes. I mean, no, said a red-faced Fu. Naruto chucked. Back to what I was saying. If we didn't hide our relationship and our skills, then I would become a bigger target for the villagers and the civilian council, and Fu and Hinata would also be in trouble. If I showcased my skills at the academy, then the civilian council would say that the demon is becoming too powerful and would do everything in their power to stop me from becoming a ninja or even kill me. I was sabotaged a lot in the academy, but it didn't affect me since I was already receiving better training. We also hid our true personalities so we wouldn't raise suspicion. Hinata continued to act like a shy girl. I acted like a dead last loudmouth so the civilians wouldn't bother me much. Fu. She decided to act like an emo after seeing Sasuke as joke, Naruto said as everybody laughed. Anyways, it is good knowing that you three trust me. We will start our first mission tomorrow, so meet me in front of the Hokage Tower at 10 a.m. said Kurenai as everybody nodded and left. That evening in the Hokage's office. So which are the teams that passed? Asked Hiruzen Sarutobi. There were 9 jounin instructors in the office along with the Hokage. 3 jounins stepped forward. Hiruzen nodded. The rest of you leave, he said as the other jounins walked out of the office. So how is Team 10? Asked Hiruzen as his son. Asuma Sarutobi replied. They can be the next generation of Ino Shikacho, but Ino has to drop her loud, fangirl attitude and Shikamaru has to become a little less lazy. The Hokage nodded. Kakashi, you actually passed your team? Asked Asuma as Kakashi nodded. They were very uncooperative at first but have potential to become a good team, at least I hope so. Besides, if I didn't pass them then the council would be on my ass because of the Uchiha being on the team. Sasuke is completely obsessed with revenge and thinks he is above everyone. Kiba has dedicated himself to becoming better than Sasuke as he is the alpha. Sakura is the worst fangirl I have ever seen. She supports Sasuke in everything even if he is wrong and is literally like an obedient pet. She has a smart brain and mostly great chakra control. She has potential to become a great shinobi in the future, but she doesn't train and is on a diet to impress Sasuke. The worst part is that Sasuke doesn't even pay attention to her, but she doesn't get it. Though Shino is an oddball, he is quite smart and remains calm and collected at all times. He will probably be best at stealth missions, but with Kiba and Sakura on the team I don't know if that is possible. I think he should be transferred to Team 8. It will be better for him, said Kakashi. I can't do that, Kakashi. He will only slow them down, said the old Hokage. They are only genin, Dad. I don't see how it would be a big deal. Besides, Naruto was the dead last in the academy. If anyone would slow the team down, it would be him, said Asuma. Hiruzen chuckled. Deception, Asuma. The ninja's greatest tool. Naruto was never the dead last, loudmouth idiot that everyone thinks he is. Nor is Hinata the shy girl, and neither is Fu and Emo. He is right, Asuma. As much as I hate to admit it, they beat me, and their teamwork work was flawless. Each second for a move, performed perfectly, and the best part, they did it all under 3 seconds without planning, while wearing level 5 resistance seals, said Kurenai as everybody's eyes widened. You were joking, right? Surely they can't be wearing resistance seals and be moving that fast, let alone be wearing level 5 ones, asked Asuma. Nope. I might not be a seal master, but I know what resistance seals look like since I did learn a little bit of sealing, and they were the real deal, said Kurenai. I knew Naruto and the girls did some crazy training, but this is the level of my guy, said the Hokage while Kakashi just cried anime tears and muttered, Why do I never get the good ones? One team who does good teamwork and I don't even get them. Instead I get a bunch of brats that are nothing alike and refuse to be a proper team, he said as everyone just laughed. The next day at 10 a.m., Hinata, Fu and Naruto were in front of the Hokage Tower, waiting for Kurenai to arrive. There was swirl of leaves in front of them as Kurenai appeared out of it. Let's go, shall we? She said as the others nodded. They pushed open the doors to the mission hall as they walked in. In the mission hall were 2 people known very well by the team, the 3rd Hokage and Irika. Team 8. How many missions do you want today? Will 20 be enough? I won't be able to give you your daily amount as the newly passed genin also needs some missions, said the Hokage. It's fine, Gigi. Actually, since we are official genins, how about a C-rank mission just to get the hang of higher missions? Then we can do the difficult ones later, said Naruto. Kurenai looked confused. Lord Hokage, what do you mean by how many missions? Shouldn't the question be which mission? And Naruto, stop asking the Hokage for a C-rank mission on your first day. No genin is allowed to do a C-rank mission till the team has done at least 50 D-rank missions. Everybody in the room except Kurenai and Irika burst out laughing. What's so funny? Asked Irika as Kurenai nodded. About how many missions have you done in your entire life, Kurenai-sensei? Asked Fu. About 1,000. Why? Asked Kurenai as Naruto chuckled. I alone did that amount in less than a month. Since we 3 were living together without any adults to get us extra money, Hokage Gigi gave us permission to do D-rank missions in the village, though he did limit us to doing only 50 D-rank missions each per day after he found out we were using shadow clones. It started when we were 7 and now we are 12. In 5 years we have done about 270,000 missions together. I think we have done enough D-rank missions to be eligible to do a higher rank mission, said Naruto as Kurenai and Irika were dumbfounded. That's impossible, Naruto. There is no way you 3 did that many missions, said Irika. Impossible is only a word, sensei. Naruto has proven that many times. If you don't believe us, then check our files and see our mission records, said Hinata. Irika got up and walked towards a cupboard. He opened it to see it filled with files. After a few minutes of searching, he removed 3 large files from the cupboard. He opened one of the files as his eyes widened. He quickly opened the other 2 and went through them as his shocked expression didn't change. You weren't kidding when you said you did so many missions, said Irika. Naruto chuckled as he asked, So can we get the mission, Gigi? Hiruzen nodded and tossed him a scroll. There is a small bandit camp a few miles north from the village. Take it out, he said. Naruto nodded as he walked out of the room, followed by Hinata and Fu. Kurenai quickly shook her head, getting rid of her shock, and followed behind them. 1 hour later, Team 8 was jumping through the trees going towards the bandit camp. So, what's the plan? Asked Hinata. I don't know. What's the plan, sensei? Asked Fu. Taking out a bandit camp should be easy enough. We will even get your first kills out of the way so you wouldn't have to face that problem in the future. First we check if there are any hostages or prisoners and get them to safety. Then we take out the bandits. We will discuss the details once we reach, said Kurenai. We have already had our first kills, sensei, replied Hinata. Kurenai was surprised. Huh? When? She asked. Just the day before yesterday, replied Hinata. What happened? Asked Kurenai. For Jounins had tried to assassinate us in the middle of the night by the orders of one of the Hyuga elders, replied Fu. Why would they do that? Asked Kurenai. 2 reasons. One, they found out that I removed Hinata's birdcage seal, said Naruto. Now that I notice it, her forehead is totally blank. How did you do that? Not even Lord Jiraiya could do that, said Kurenai. I am a level 10 seal master, sensei, and so is Fu, while Jiraiya is only a level 7 seal expert, said Naruto. Oh, what is the other reason? Asked Kurenai. My idiot of a boyfriend here used the 8 trigrams 64 palms that I taught him on our traitorous sensei during the academy test, said Hinata, rolling her eyes. Hey, I didn't want to show any of my skills yet, said Naruto. Still, Naruto, it was one of the reasons why you almost died, said Kurenai. Don't worry, sensei. Now we have applied some nasty seals all over our house. Let's just say that there won't be any successful break-in ever again, said Naruto with a sadistic grin that sent shivers down Kurenai's spine. What exactly were those nasty surprises? Asked Kurenai. 5 things. Itchy poison, fire, electricity, some really bright and colorful paint that will take a long time to get rid of and glue, replied Fu as Kurenai got a look of horror on her face. I hope nobody tries to break into their house, thought Kurenai as she gave a silent prayer for whose soul would encounter such a horrific fate. 5 minutes later, Team 8 stopped about 100 meters away from the camp. First we take out the guards on patrol duty, then I will sneak in and check if there are any prisoners. If there are any, then I will tap my foot twice. When I do that, I want you to make 2 small explosions in opposite sides of the camp to distract the bandits while I free the prisoners. Then we take out the bandits. Since they will be dispersed, it won't be a problem, said Kurenai. You know we can do a simpler and much easier plan, right? Asked Naruto. Kurenai just raised an eyebrow. Naruto nodded at Fu as she went through hand signs and said, Summoning Jutsu, as she slammed her palm on the ground. There was a small puff of smoke as out came a small black sparrow. Hello, Yanu. Can you go see if there are any prisoners in the bandit camp about 100 meters north from here? Said Fu as the bird nodded and took off. Kurenai was surprised. I didn't know you had a summoning contract, Fu. Heck, I didn't even know a sparrow summoning contract even existed, she said. That is because such a contract does not exist, said Fu. Then how did you summon a sparrow? Asked Kurenai. I have the absolute bird summoning contract, replied Fu. Never heard of it, said Kurenai. I would be surprised if you did, said Fu as Kurenai raised an eyebrow. There are many summoning contracts that exist in this world, though there are only a few that are well known, like the toads, slugs, and the snakes. Though there are some rare or even unknown summoning contracts, there are 7 that are the strongest. These are called the legendary contracts. They are the absolute bird summoning contract, which can summon every type or bird, the absolute marine summoning contract, which can summon any sea creature, the snow tiger summoning contract, the Pegasus summoning contract, the demonic fox summoning contract, the phoenix summoning contract, and the dragon summoning contract, explained Naruto. Kurenai was surprised but nodded and asked, How exactly did you get this contract and how do you know all of this? Naruto grinned and said, That's for us to know and for you to figure out. Kurenai frowned but nodded. A few minutes later, the small sparrow arrived in front of the team and shook its head negatively, meaning the camp had not prisoners. Great. This makes our job a lot easier, Now all we have to do is cause a distraction and pick the bandits off one by one, said Kurenai. Or we could just blow this place up to Kingdom Come, offered Naruto. Kurenai raised an eyebrow at him. I don't have a paper bomb that strong and I am not a ninjutsu specialist, she said. Relax, Kurenai-sensei. We are all ninjutsu specialists, especially Naruto, said Hinata as she looked at Naruto, who was grinning like a maniac. You do realize you would need a wide-scale S-rank jutsu for that, right? I know that you are really strong and fast, but you are still genin, said Kurenai, but nobody heard her. Instead, they were sitting down on a branch beside her discussing about how they should destroy the camp. Should we burn the place down or blow it up with lighting? Or we could set a tornado on it. What if we send a flaming tornado? How about we bury the camp? Or we could rig the entire place up with paper bombs. Hey, are you guys even listening? Asked Kurenai as they looked at her and stood up. Sorry, sensei, we haven't really been able to practice our S-rank jutsus since we always trained in secret in the village. We are just excited, said Hinata. Wait, you guys actually know S-rank jutsus? Asked Kurenai. You do realize we trained with 3 of the strongest people in the world, right? Asked Naruto. Point taken, said Kurenai as Naruto made 4 shadow clones and started jumping away as Hinata and Fu followed him. Hey, wait guys, where are you going? Naruto's shadow clones are going to perform the Limelight Jutsu, the strongest known lightning jutsu that can incinerate anything within its radius. So I suggest you move away from the camp if you don't want to get incinerated, said Hinata. Kurenai was shocked that Naruto knew such a powerful jutsu but nodded and followed the group. A few minutes later, Team 8 stopped and climbed the tallest nearby tree to look at the camp. Suddenly, the sky darkened as thunder was heard and lightning was seen. For streams of lightning came from the corners of the bandit camp and connected in the center of it to make a ball of lightning, high up in the sky. The ball started to expand as it covered the entire bandit camp in a blinding blue light as everybody was forced to shield their eyes. As the light died down, they opened their eyes only to see a huge crater where the bandit camp once was. You know, you didn't have to incinerate them with such a flashy jutsu. There were only about 30 of them. We could have taken them on, said Kurenai. I know, sensei, but we had our first kills only 2 days ago, and though we may not show it, it affected us. Thankfully, we had my dad, Kurama, and Chome to calm us down. I don't think we would be ready to kill anybody with our own 2 hands for at least a week or 2, said Naruto. I understand. Now let's go home, shall we? Asked Kurenai with a smile as Naruto grinned and nodded. For days later, it was 4 p.m. in the evening and Konoha was bustling. The streets were filled with people and civilians were selling goods in the shopping district. Ninjas were jumping from rooftops to rooftops, moving in and out of the village, going and coming from missions. Meanwhile, Naruto and Kurenai were standing in their training ground. So why did you call me here, Naruto? Asked Kurenai as Naruto just smiled sadistically. Why do you have that look on your face? I have a bad feeling about this, she said. I called you here because your ninjutsu and taijutsu is very weak for a jounin and you depend too much on your genjutsu, so I have decided that I am going to train you from now on, starting now, said Naruto. I understand that I need to work on my ninjutsu and genjutsu, but why that look? Asked Kurenai. Because by the end of the day you would either be unconscious or begging for mercy, replied Naruto as Kurenai gulped. 1 month later. It was 7 p.m. in the evening. Kurenai and her friends Anko, Asuma, Kakashi, Yugao, and Might Guy were sitting in their usual barbecue restaurant. Hey Kurenai, I heard you were getting trained by someone. Mind telling us who? Asked Yugao. Yeah, who is this mystery person? Asked Asuma. It's Naruto, replied Kurenai as Kakashi spat out his drink. You mean our Naruto? As in the Jinchuriki with 2 girlfriends? Asked Kakashi. So you are being trained by a dead last perverted kid? Asked Anko. What has happened to you, Kurenai? Asked Yugao. Kurenai's eyebrow twitched. He is not a pervert. In fact, he hates perverts and he loves both his girlfriends equally. I have seen that. And I don't think you should be calling someone who throws around S-rank jutsus like they are nothing and runs faster than me while wearing level 5 resistance seals a dead last. She said. Everybody stared at her. Suddenly Anko burst out laughing. Good one, Kurenai, she said. I am not kidding, said Kurenai as Anko stared at her. There is no way that is possible, said Anko. Well, you did tell us that he wore level 5 resistance seals but S-rank jutsus? If that is true, then this kid is a monster, said Asuma. You have such a youthful student, Kurenai, shouted Guy with tears flowing down his face. Youthful? More like monstrous. No, that is an understatement, said Yugao. I still don't believe the kid can do that, said Anko. Yeah, you are right. I was one of the umbus assigned to watch him. Though he diked me a lot, I always found him quickly. Suddenly the Hokage told us to stop guarding him. When I asked Lord Hokage why the umbus were called off, he only said that he had his reasons. There is no way someone can become so powerful at such a young age even if he got 5 years to train. There has to be someone training him in secret, said Yugao. Oh, there were people training Naruto, Fu, and Hinata, all right. Some really powerful people. Not even the Hokage knew about it until recently, said Kurenai. More than one person trained them? Asked Asuma as Kurenai nodded. How powerful are these people you are talking about? Asked Kakashi, looking out of his book. Strong enough to decimate armies and destroy villages, replied Kurenai as everybody stared at her. Who are these people? Asked Asuma, asking the question that everybody wanted to know the answer of. Sorry, can't tell, said Kurenai. Hey, Kamen, you gotta to tell us, whined Anko. Can't tell. It is an S-rank secret, said Kurenai as she then giggled as everybody stared at her. Hawk in position. Dog in position. Flower in position. Beetle in position. Capture the target now, a voice shouted as 4 people jumped at their target, Tora, the demon cat of Konoha. Phew, finally we caught this demon, said Kiba. Good job, my cute little genin. You only took 2 hours and 23 minutes to catch Tora. It's a new record, said Kakashi as he appeared in front of the 4 with an eye smile. TCH, said Sasuke. Hey, this isn't even a mission. I bet if you two weren't there, then Sasuke-kun would be able to do it in only a few minutes, screeched Sakura as Tora flinched in her hands. Kiba's eyebrow twitched as Shino just gave her a blank stare. Now, there is no need to fight. Let's go to the Hokage Tower, said Kakashi as Sasuke scoffed and started walking away as everybody followed him and Kakashi mentally sighed. At the Hokage Tower the next day. You called Hokage-sama? Asked Kurenai as she appeared in the office along with her team in a shunshin. Team 8, I need you to head to the land of Wave. Yesterday I sent Team 7 to escort a bridge builder to Wave, but apparently they were attacked by the Demon Brothers on the way there and have decided to continue the mission though they have asked for backup. The mission has been bumped up to be rank and possibly a rank, said Hiruzen. Kurenai frowned. Kakashi knew that his genins were too weak for such a high-level mission, yet he decided to continue. He will be punished, thought Kurenai evilly in her mind. When do we leave Hokage-sama? Asked Fu. Leave as soon as you can and go full speed. There may be one or multiple stronger missing Nins waiting to attack them and Kakashi won't be able to fight and protect his team and Tazuna at the same time. Naruto, you might have to use your skills in front of Team 7, said the Hokage. I know, Gigi, but it is going to be fun messing with the Uchiha prick, said Naruto. Hiruzen chuckled. Just don't hurt him too much. He does need to loose that arrogance or he will get killed. Naruto nodded. Okay, team, I know that you guys already have your stuff packed for any kind of mission, so we leave in half an hour, said Kurenai as she and her team shunshined out of the room. Hiruzen sighed and looked down at his desk. His eyes widened at what he saw. It was nothing, no paperwork. He blinked a few times. This seems too good to be true, he thought as he held his hand in the ram seal and said, Kai. There was a puff of smoke and a huge pile of paperwork appeared on his desk. Tears came to his eyes as he read a note that was on top of the paperwork. It said, Ha 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 ha, by Naruto. Damn you Naruto, shouted Hiruzen at the evil prank played on him. 30 minutes later at Konoha's west gate. Have all of you got your supplies? Asked Kurenai as her team nodded. Good. Now let's get moving. Remove your resistance seals. We need to catch up as soon as we can, she said as all of them went through hand signs and stopped at the ram sign. Total release, they said as suddenly all of them felt a lot lighter. It has been 2 months since Naruto started Kurenai's training and she was on level 2 resistance seals, while the rest were on level 6. Move out, said Kurenai as all of them blurred out into the forest. 6 hours later with Team 7. Run. Run as fast as you can. His water clones can't move far away from here. You can't beat him. Take Tazuna and run, shouted Kakashi as he was trapped inside a water prison. Sakura and Tazuna were scared while Shino and Kiba were nervous. Sasuke just scoffed and said, It doesn't matter who you are. I am an Uchiha, an elite. You are no match for me, he said as he charged towards a water clone of Zabuza with a kunai in his hand. Just as Sasuke reached the clone, Zabuza kicked Sasuke's hand, causing the kunai in his hand to bury into his right eye as Sasuke screamed out in pain. Zabuza slashed his sword at the boy, giving him a huge cut across his chest and kicked him hard, sending Sasuke flying back. Zabuza raised his sword high in the air and jumped, ready to deliver the final blow to Sasuke when he heard, lightning style, lightning beam, as a yellow beam came from the top of the trees, obliterating the Zabuza clone. Where the clone once stood, appeared Team 8 in a gust of wind, with Naruto's hands smoking. What kind of mess have you gotten yourself into, big brother Kakashi? Asked Naruto with a smirk. Last time on Legend. Run. Run as fast as you can. His water clones can't move far away from here. You can't beat him. Take Tazuna and run, shouted Kakashi as he was trapped inside a water prison. Sakura and Tazuna were scared while Shino and Kiba were nervous. Sasuke just scoffed and said, It doesn't matter who you are. I am an Uchiha, an elite. You are no match for me, he said as he charged towards a water clone of Zabuza with a kunai in his hand. Just as Sasuke reached the clone, Zabuza kicked Sasuke's hand, causing the kunai in his hand to bury into his right eye as Sasuke screamed out in pain. Zabuza slashed his sword at the boy, giving him a huge cut across his chest and kicked him hard, sending Sasuke flying back. Zabuza raised his sword high in the air and jumped, ready to deliver the final blow to Sasuke when he heard, lightning style, lightning beam, as a yellow beam came from the top of the trees, obliterating the Zabuza clone. Where the clone once stood, appeared Team 8 in a gust of wind, with Naruto's hands smoking. What kind of mess have you gotten yourself into, big brother Kakashi? Asked Naruto with a smirk. Now, everybody looked at Team 7. Did he just say big brother Kakashi? Thought Kiba. Well, now that we have made our grand entrance, Hinata go heal their injuries and make a protective barrier around them. Sensei, can we just let the Uchiha die? Asked Naruto. Nope, replied Kurenai as Sakura just glared at Naruto because of the question he asked. Naruto sighed. All right then, can you distract Zabuza for a while? He asked. Sure thing, said Kurenai as the girls started doing their job. Naruto went through hand seals and slammed his hand on the ground, saying, Summoning Jutsu. There was a puff of smoke and out of it appeared a navy blue fox with 2 tails that came up to Naruto's waist. What happened, Naruto-sama? Asked the fox. Kumaro, I need you to heal that stupid Uchiha over there and make sure he stays alive, but don't heal him fully, said Naruto as he pointed towards the broken and bleeding Sasuke. The fox nodded as he walked to Sasuke and raised his 2 tails above him, which started to glow green as the wounds on Sasuke started to slowly close and the bleeding reduced. Hey, why are you commanding your team, Naruto Baka? That is your sensei's job. And what is that animal doing to Sasuke-kun? Screamed Sakura. What happens in my team is none of your business, and Kumaro is healing your precious Uchiha. You don't want him to die of blood loss, do you? Asked Naruto with a raised eyebrow. Sakura opened her mouth to shout something but closed it again and shook her head no. Seal! Yelled Fu as a purple, hexagonal barrier appeared around Team 7 and Kumaro. Hey, why have you trapped us in this thing? Asked Kiba. You are in this barrier so you wouldn't die. Zabuza is way out of your league, replied Hinata. Kiba was surprised that Hinata didn't even stutter once. Then why are you not in here? Do you think you are stronger than me? He asked/yelled. Hinata shook her head. No, Kiba. I know I am stronger than you. Do you still not realize that Naruto, Fu, and I were faking our skills and personalities the whole time? She said. She is right, Kiba. Remember the graduation day? Naruto not only humiliated Sasuke but also defeated a Chunin with ease, and everybody in Team 8 was the Kunoichi or Rookie of the Year. They were definitely faking it the whole time, said the Shino. Kiba frowned as he remembered that day. As much as he hated to admit it, Shino was right. Surely you can't be strong enough to face Zabuza. Not even Sasuke-kun can do that, said Sakura. I don't know, am I? Asked Hinata with a smirk. Before anyone could say anything, Hinata shunshined away to Fu. Hey Kurenai-sensei, you can leave Zabuza now and hide the others, said Naruto as Kurenai nodded and put up a genjutsu around her and the rest of teams, dispelling the genjutsu that she put on Zabuza. Zabuza blinked a couple times before he realized what was going. Damn that woman. She managed to catch me under a genjutsu. She is good, I'll give her the thought Zabuza. Where is that woman, brat? And the rest? Asked Zabuza as he only saw Naruto in front of him. Oh, you don't need to worry about them. I am going to be your opponent, said Naruto. Zabuza stared at him for a few seconds before he burst out laughing. After a while, he calmed down and asked, Didn't you see what happened to your little friend when he challenged me? Oh, I saw what happened to him, but I am not as weak as him, said Naruto. It won't matter. I'll just cut you down since I can't find the others, said Zabuza as he summoned 2 water clones. Naruto just smirked and put his wrists together, his palms spread out horizontally, facing Zabuza. Lightning beam! Shouted Naruto as a yellow beam of lightning erupted from his palms and flew towards Zabuza. Shit! Thought Zabuza as he jumped out of the way, releasing Kakashi from the water prison. The water clones didn't react fast enough as they were blasted into water. Kakashi coughed a few times before he regained his chakra control and stood up on top of the water. Go rest, Kakashi. You were too tired to fight anyways, said Naruto. Naruto, you can't possibly take him on your own, Naruto. You are just a genin, said Kakashi. I am pretty sure Kurenai-sensei told you already that I am no ordinary genin, said Naruto. But still, you dash. No buts. Just sit and watch. If you think I am in serious danger, then jump in at any moment. Kakashi was hesitant at first but nodded and walked away. Hee hee, brat, that was good. But you are crazy if you think you can fight me alone, said Zabuza, who had just recovered. Who said anything about fighting you? Asked Naruto as Zabuza rose a non-existent eyebrow. Zabuza Momochi, I challenge you to a duel. Only blades and 1 ninjutsu allowed, said the blonde as in a puff of smoke, 2 blades appeared in his hand. The one in his left hand was blood red with a black and orange hilt. At the bottom of the hilt was the head of a fox in red. The one on his right was pitch black with a blood red and dark purple hilt with a head of a dragon at the bottom of it in black. Both the blades were extremely sharp and dangerous. Zabuza chuckled. You know, kid, I was once a member of the 7 ninja swordsmen, but I'll humor you and accept your challenge, he said as he gripped his giant sword and took a stance. Naruto smirked and got into a stance of his own. I have one condition, said Naruto. What? Asked Zabuza. If I win, you and your little friend up in the trees will listen to the offer I have for you, said Naruto. How do you dash? I am a censor, replied Naruto. Zabuza nodded. In a blink of an eye, the swordsmen met, their swords clashing against each other. Zabuza was shocked at the speed and strength of the blonde. A genin should not be as fast as him and should not be possibly able to handle the weight of Kyuubi Kirabocho, Zabuza's sword, and the strength behind the attack, but the blonde didn't even budge. The two swordsmen clashed a few times before jumping back. Zabuza stuck his sword to his back with chakra and went through hand signs. Water style, water dragon jutsu, he shouted as a giant dragon made of water formed before charging towards Naruto. The dragon smashed where Naruto was. Too easy, kid, said Zabuza before his eyes widened as he felt a hand on his shoulder. The last thing he heard was "missed me," as Naruto hit a pressure point on his neck, rendering him unconscious. Haku appeared beside Zabuza and was ready to disappear with him, but Naruto stopped him. Wait, I know that you are Zabuza's subordinate and you heard what we spoke about. We will not harm him. All I want to do is talk, said Naruto. Haku hesitantly nodded, but kept her guard up, just in case. She also secretly created 2 ice senbons in her hands, which Naruto noticed. To say that Team 7 was shocked would be a massive understatement. They had seen the whole thing from behind the genjutsu and couldn't believe their eyes. Naruto had just beat Zabuza, without much effort. Fu dropped the barrier as Kurenai released the genjutsu and everybody ran up to Naruto. Well, everybody except Sasuke, who limped over there with his bandaged eye and chest. He had just woken up when Naruto and Zabuza's fight was about to start, and was fuming after seeing how Naruto beat Zabuza, and how did he even get those cool swords? He was an Uchiha. He should have been the one with that kind of skills and equipment. You weren't kidding when you said that this kid is strong, Kurenai, said Kakashi. Kurenai just chuckled while Naruto said, You shouldn't be surprised, Kakashi, seeing who I hold and who I am related to. Kakashi froze while the genins of Team 7 looked confused. What do you mean? He asked with a serious expression and a narrowed eyes. Don't play dumb with me. Yellow speed, red fury, crimson destruction. Ring any bells? Said Naruto. The other genins looked even more confused, but Kakashi understood the hidden meaning, making his eye widen. How do you know? He asked. Naruto chuckled. I will explain later. For now, we have more important things to take care of, he said as Kakashi nodded. Zabuza groaned and woke up, putting everybody on guard. What happened? He asked. He blinked a couple times and saw Haku beside him and the Konoha ninjas in front of him. I beat you. That's what happened, said Naruto with a grin. Zabuza was shocked. Did a genin just manage to beat him? He sighed and got up. Okay, tell me, what was that offer you had for me? Said Zabuza. You know Gato, despite being rich, is a very stingy person, right? Asked Naruto. Your point. He would most probably wait for the next time we battle, and use our tiredness as an advantage to take us out with a lot of thugs. Why would he waste his money on an expensive missing nin while he could get multiple thugs for a cheaper amount? I say you leave Gato, who will most probably betray you, and join us. We can take Gato out, take his money, and save Wave at the same time. You can also take your money and finally out of a life of running, said Naruto. What do you mean? Asked Zabuza. I mean, you can come to Konoha after this mission. I know that you are not a bad guy and only became a missing nin because you tried to assassinate the Mizukage who started a bloodline purge. I am sure that the old man Hokage will let you and your friend join our village. Zabuza was shocked beyond belief. The kid had just offered him a chance at a new life. And how do I know you are not lying? He asked. Because I have no reason to lie. If I wanted to kill you, I would have already done it. You know I could have, replied Naruto. Zabuza thought for a minute, then nodded. Wait, you can't just offer an enemy to join our village, said Kiba. You know, he is right, Naruto, said Kakashi. Would you rather have him as your enemy? Someone who can be a great ally with a good heart, said Naruto. Good heart? You know he is called the demon of the mist for a reason, right? Asked Kurenai. He isn't the child who killed all the kids in the graduation exam anymore. He has changed, heck, he even sees this girl as his daughter, said Naruto. I am a boy, said Haku. And I only see her as a tool, said Zabuza. Who are you kidding? I can sense chakra and emotions, conscious and subconscious ones. I know that you aren't just a heartless killer, Zabuza, said Naruto as he then turned to Haku. And I know you are a girl. I can sense the chakra you have put in seals around your chest to hide your assets, he said. Zabuza and Haku looked surprised. Zabuza sighed. You are right. I do see you as my daughter, Haku, he said. This brought tears to Haku's eyes. Someone coughed. Everybody looked away from the heart-touching scene and towards Kurenai. I don't mean to ruin the moment, but you do realize we are in the middle of a forest, right? Said Kurenai. Naruto sheepishly rubbed the back of his head as he asked, Hey Tazuna, can we stay at your home for a while? Tazuna nodded as he said, It is not too far from here. I am pretty sure I have enough rooms to fit all of you. Naruto nodded. Well, someone catch me. I used too much chakra trying to stay alive in the water prison, said Kakashi as he pulled down his headband over his Sharingan and collapsed. A clone of Naruto formed and caught him before he hit the ground. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go, said Naruto. The next morning, Kakashi woke up on a bed. Huh? Where am I? Oh right, Tazuna's house, he thought. He slowly got up from the bed and almost collapsed. Looks like I haven't recovered completely, he thought before he opened the door of his room and slowly walked downstairs. There he saw Team 7, Team 8, Zabuza, Haku, Tazuna, and a new woman sitting around a large table having breakfast. Seeing Zabuza, he quickly brought his guard up before he remembered that they had become allies. It's not every day you see your comrades and your client eating breakfast with a missing mien, said Kakashi, bringing everyone's attention to him. Oi, Kakashi, I see you are feeling better. Come join us, said Naruto with a smile as Kakashi came and sat down beside Zabuza. How are you feeling, Sasuke? Asked Kakashi as he turned to the Uchiha. He was quieter than normal today. He didn't have his usual arrogant smirk on. He still had bandages wrapped around his chest and wore a dark blue eye patch over his right eye. Like I am useless. I need more power. I need to kill him, said Sasuke with an angry look in high eyes. How about this? Since me and Zabuza need to heal completely, how about we train all of you for a couple days before we destroy Gato? Said Kakashi. Sasuke's face immediately brightened as he nodded. I'm down, said Kiba. So am I, said Fu. Shino only nodded along with Naruto. Are we going to be joining them, father? Asked Haku. Zabuza and Haku had talked about their relationship and no longer see each other as a master/tool. They have a proper father-daughter relationship, though it will take some time for them to get used to it. I don't have anything to do, so why not? Replied Zabuza. It's settled then. We can start training in the forest in an hour, said Kurenai as everyone nodded. 1 hour later in the forest. So what are we going to learn today, sensei? Asked Sakura. We are going to learn tree walking, replied Kakashi. There was silence. Dead silence. What? Shouted Team 8 and the father-daughter duo in unison as Kakashi's sweat dropped. You mean you still haven't taught them tree walking? You have had them for 2 months, Kakashi, said Kurenai. What did you teach them all this time then? Asked Zabuza out of curiosity. I taught them teamwork exercises, replied Kakashi as there was dead silence again. You are hopeless, said Naruto while shaking his head. Hey, respect Kakashi-sensei Yubaka, screamed Sakura. 1, he is not my sensei. 2, I do respect him. And 3, I don't have to be formal with my brother now, do I? Said Naruto. He is not your brother Dobe, said Sasuke. In blood, I am not, but Naruto is the closest person I have to a brother, said Kakashi, shocking his genins. Anyways, why do we have to learn tree climbing? We already know how to do that, said Kiba. Kakashi-sensei said tree walking, Kiba, not tree climbing, said Shino. You are correct, Shino. I did indeed say tree walking, said Kakashi as he put a foot on a tree and literally started walking up it, defying gravity and shocking his genin again. This is supposed to be impossible, shouted Sakura. And spitting fire from your mouth is not? Asked Naruto sarcastically. But how is this going to help me get stronger? Asked Sasuke. In this exercise, you stick to the tree by channeling some chakra to the bottom of your feet. Too much and the bark will break and you will be forced off the tree. Too less and you will slip off. The feet are the most difficult part to channel chakra to, meaning once you have mastered this exercise, by being able to run up and down the tree 10 times in a row, your chakra control will increase greatly, making your jutsus less chakra consuming and more powerful, said Kakashi. This seemed to satisfy Sasuke as he nodded. Then Kakashi spoke again. I would suggest trying to run up the tree for a boost. Use your kunai to mark how high you reached and try to go higher the next time. Team 7 started trying to run up the tree and Kakashi came back down. So what do we do now? Asked Fu. How about a battle royal between all of us? Suggested Hinata. Guys, I want to try something out. You guys can go ahead and fight. I will be back for dinner at Tazuna's place. Haku, can you come along? Sure, said Haku as she and Naruto jumped away and the others began their fight. In a clearing 5 minutes later, Naruto and Haku were standing face to face in an open clearing that was a little distance away from where the others were training. So what do you have in mind, Naruto? Asked Haku. Naruto's expression turned serious. Haku, I am going to tell you a secret and would like to try something out, but you have to promise me that you won't tell what I am going to tell you to anyone. Not even Zabuza. Haku hesitated for a moment but nodded. I promise you, she said. Naruto sighed and turned on his Exagon as Haku gasped. Yeah, I have a dojutsu. It is called the Exagon or Angel Eyes. It is like the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan but much, much better. It has the same abilities as the Sharingan and has great visual prowess, only much stronger. The reason I am telling you this is because I suspect that my eyes can not only copy Nin Kenjen and Taijutsu, but also copy Kekka Genkai. Haku was shocked to think there was a dojutsu with such power. How? She asked. I am not sure if it will actually work, but if you could just perform a Hayaton Jutsu and with your permission I would try to copy it. I know that you have ice release because I saw you make an ice senbon. I can make ice senbon too using wind and water chakra, but since I don't have the bloodline it is very difficult for me, said Naruto as he held out his hand as an ice senbon slowly formed in his hand, but it dissipated after a few seconds. Haku thought about it for a minute and nodded. This way, even if something happened to her, the Hayaton bloodline would pass on and not die out. She went through hand signs and said, Ice release, ice clone technique, as a perfect replica of Haku was formed out of ice. For Naruto, this happened in slow motion as he could see Haku molding her chakra and how the clone formed. He muttered, copy, as his Exagon started slowly spinning until it sped up and the Tomo's spinning soon turned into a blur. Naruto's body started to glow a faint light blue as inside his body his chakra changed to be able to use ice release. His Exagon stopped spinning as he went through hand signs and said, Ice release, ice clone technique, as an ice replica of Naruto was soon formed. Naruto grinned. I can't believe it actually worked. This is awesome, shouted Naruto as Haku looked at him with a faint smile on her face. Your ice clone is good, but it isn't perfect. You need practice, said Haku. Then let's start training, shall we? Said Naruto as the both of them grinned. Time skip. At Tazuna's house at 8 p.m. Naruto and Haku entered the house and saw everybody sitting on the dining table. Zabuza was talking with Kurenai and Tazuna while eating, and Kakashi was giggling, eating and reading his porn at the same time. Shino was sitting and eating silently while Sasuke and Kiba were trying to stuff as much as they could down their throats, and Sakura was just staring at her Sasuke-kun. Hinata and Fu were talking while Tsunami was in the kitchen cooking some more Hey guys, who won the battle royal? Asked Naruto as he and Haku sat down beside Fu. It was a draw between Hinata and Fu, replied Kurenai as Zabuza snorted. Only because me and Kakashi aren't fully healed yet, he said, but everyone ignored him. So what were you doing with my daughter, Naruto? He asked. Oh, nothing. This and that, replied Naruto as he smirked when Zabuza glared at him. What were you actually doing, brat? Asked Zabuza. Training. Working on something new that I couldn't do without Haku's help. Oh, and what is that? Zabuza asked with narrowed eyes. Relax, Zabuza. I was just practicing some jutsus. Needed the help of her ice release to test them out, replied Naruto. Zabuza's gaze lingered on Naruto suspiciously for a couple seconds before he looked away. Naruto chuckled and started eating. Suddenly a little boy ran downstairs and asked, "Why are you ninjas still here?" "Because we have to protect your Gramps while he builds his bridge," replied Hinata. "What's the point? Gato will just kill you all with his army. You should just leave and go back to that fancy ninja village of yours and live your luxurious lives. I bet you people don't even know the meaning of suffering," shouted the little boy. Zabuza and Naruto looked at each other and burst out laughing. Even Hinata and Fu started giggling. "What's so funny?" asked the boy. Immediately, everyone stopped laughing and glared at the boy, making him flinch. "What's your name, child?" asked Zabuza. "Inari," replied the boy. "Well, Inari, what has happened to you that is so bad that it made you lose all your hope?" asked Fu. At this point, all Inari wanted to do was run upstairs to his room and cry, but he just couldn't move. "And my father was publicly executed for standing up against Gato," replied Inari. "Oh, so he died a hero, is that all?" asked Naruto as Inari flinched and tears built up to the edge of his eyes. "Naruto Baka, shut up. What do you know about suffering anyways? Stop acting so heartless," screamed Sakura. Naruto glared at the girl, making her flinch. "I swear that's the most ironical statement I have heard all day." Naruto chuckled and looked at Inari. Getting serious again, Naruto pointed at Hinata. Hinata over there was banished from her clan and family at the age of 7 because she wasn't strong enough to stand up to a jonin in the middle of the night when she was just a child. He said, then pointed at Fu. "Fu over there came to our village at the age of 7 because she was hated by her entire village for absolutely no reason. Her entire existence was ignored, and she was even beat up and nearly raped at times by drunk adults, so she had to come to our village. Sasuke, even though he is an arrogant asshole, knows more suffering than you, Inari. His entire clan and family was murdered by his own brother in just one night. Kakashi has lost both his teammates, his sensei, and his parents. Zabuza is being hunted down by his own village just because he tried to stop a civil war. Haku has only one family, which is Zabuza, and even that is not of blood. Now do you think we don't know suffering?" For a minute there was only silence. Then it was broken by Tazuna asking, "What happened to you, kid?" Naruto grinned and cackled like a maniac. Then he stared at Inari. "Oh, nothing much. My parents were killed on the day I was born. Stabbed through the gut by a demon that attacked our village many years ago. The same demon was sealed inside me to protect the village. But guess what? I protected the village from destruction, and I get thrown out of the orphanage at the age of 3. I lived on the streets alone for 2 years, during which I got beaten nearly to death almost every single day. Especially on my birthday, when people used to hunt me down and torture me till I couldn't scream or cry anymore, till I nearly died and fell unconscious. People have tried to kill me for more times than I can count. Finally, the Hokage found me and gave me an apartment at when I was almost 5, but even that kept getting attacked by the villagers. People either never sold me anything or only sold me spoilt or rotten stuff, and even that was for triple the price, until the Hokage finally threatened to shut down their businesses if they do this. My life finally got better when Fu, Hinata, and 2 other people came into my life, but until then I was miserable. But I am all good now," said Naruto. "No offense to you, Kurama," thought Naruto. "None taken," said Kurama mentally. "So if you think that you have suffered, Inari, remember that there are people who have had it much worse. Now stop whining and crying about the death of your dad. Get the fuck over it and do something about it," continued Naruto. "I am going to go blow off some steam. I'll be back late at night," he said as he walked out of the house, and Inari ran back up to his room with tears in his eyes. Why was Naruto Baka lying about all this? He didn't have to make Inari cry, screamed Sakura. He wasn't lying about any of this. In fact, he was sugarcoating it. Besides, Inari needed to hear it for his own good, said Kakashi. The dinner continued, but this time in complete silence, with Sasuke thinking, what demon was he talking about? The only demon that attacked Konoha was his eyes widened. Fox summons, being hated, being called a demon, it all adds up now. He has the 9-tailed demon fox in him, but the 4th Hokage killed it, right? Right?